Yeah.
Thank you.
You have the mic here. That's all.
Yeah. Assalamu alaikum. It's not on. Assalamu alaikum. Yeah, I don't think you guys can hear me. This is not working. Can we get the...
Just for a few seconds.
No, the pipes off, that's why.
There you
It's about right. Assalamu alaikum. Yeah. Bradford. You know, before I came here, people told me, ये white session है यहाँ पे आपने English भी नहीं बोलनी और उर्दू भी नहीं बोलनी. Yeah. So I should say, Assalamu alaikum Mirpur. So I hope this is not going to be too technical because I heard that I only have about 90 minutes in this one. An hour and a half before the, yeah? Yeah, this is not going to be enough for 90 minutes. This is going to be a little more than 90 minutes. Takes a little more than 90 minutes to shake the Muslim now. Yeah, okay. So before I begin this, let me give you a little caution here. Anything that you don't understand from this, you'll have to stop me. You will have to stop me, especially girls, especially kids. Stop me so that you and I can actually go along together. If you do not go along together, then it'll be a lot of, effort wasted because you won't be able to get the answers of some of the questions, a lot of those questions back home. This is something which is very technical, and this is going to create a challenge. And that kind of challenge we're not used to, especially. Who's not a Pakistani here? One, two, oh, okay, quite, okay. Okay. Indians? Okay. We're from India. Where? Gujarat, okay. Okay. So, same thing. उधर भी बड़े ज़्यादा बात नहीं करने देते घर जाके. Okay. So, please make sure, this is just the one ground rule. Stop me whenever you can. Or whenever you don't understand something. If you don't like something, it's all right. You're not going to like most of it anyway. Don't stop me at that time, okay? Let's begin proceedings. Let's just start with you guys. Can I get rid of this? I'm not used to these sort of things. Actually, no. This is a good thing. I'm gonna start with this sort of thing. This is the first time I'm in a program where there's so much prelude, and so eloquently describing everything, except that clapping thing. No, I know. I'm not used to that. So let's just start with you with the people who brought their kids. Who brought their kids? Okay. Yeah, because there's so many hands raised there. Yes, sir. Kya naam hai aapka, sir? Okay, as soon as I'm going to start the content, I will need this, Mahin? How can I shift these slides? Yeah, then I'm just going to go English, I'm sorry. Okay, because this is going to go to every part of the world. We cannot speak Urdu because kids in America, kids in Canada or, Africa, the Arabia, they don't speak Urdu, so we'll have to keep it English. Or after I start. Yes, sir. उससे पहले उर्दू में बात करते हैं. Yes, sir.
सर सादा क्यों है? हम चाहते हैं कि आप उर्दू में थोड़ा बहुत, क्योंकि इतनी इंग्लिश नहीं आती है, आंधी टेढ़ी.
कितनी आती है बताएं?
मतलब इटली से है स्पेशल इस इवेंट के लिए सन इंग्लिश आंधी होती थी, मतलब बस समझ आ रही. तो जिस टाइम जब आप वीडियो बनाए ना उन लोगों के लिए वो देख लेंगे शायद उस वक्त.
वो यही वक्त है ना वो देखें. यही वक्त है. But don't worry, I'll keep you with me. Don't worry.
Okay.
Yeah. I know what you mean. मैं बीच में साथ I'll keep reeling you in. Don't worry.
Thank you.
It's not. Plus मेरी अंग्रेजी बहुत ही आसान वाली है. You guys speak tough English. I couldn't get a word. See how I'm actually,
हम सुबह से आए हैं जो ये बोल रहे हैं वो तो मतलब
nobody can understand that. मैं और आप इकट्ठे हैं इसमें.
डरा दिए हैं, पता नहीं क्या बोल रहे हैं।
Yeah, this is not English. They're faking it. This is not English. Seriously. Plus, this Glasgow thing was so awesome. That is so beautiful, and the way they speak. And after Glasgow, you come to Bradford. Everything shatters, It's so weird, so beautiful. So, but it's not the fact that you guys are so difficult to understand. The fact that you don't understand me as well. It's like I don't even have that Bradford thing going on. I have a very desi sort of a small wave. So, sir, इसलिए डर लग रहा है, इसलिए आपसे उर्दू में बात कीजिएगा. वालेकुम बैठे आपका नाम क्या है? So you brought your kids. Yeah, why? Why did you bring your kids? Say what? Okay. Who else is a student here in England? I'm going to break this. Okay. So students should ask, you should be a little more aggressive during this, okay? Especially people who have not hit their 30s yet. If you don't grasp this, okay, two things are going to happen after I leave this. First of all, we're going to connect you all, whoever paid for the ticket. We have your information. We're going to get you into a WhatsApp group and we're going to connect. I'm going to be a part of that, inshallah, of that WhatsApp group. Then we're going to connect you with Glasgow and London, wherever we're going to go in Manchester next. Are we going to Manchester next? Birmingham. Oh, how could I forget? Tomorrow's Birmingham. So yeah. Say what? No, really? Tougher? Tougher than Bradford. Okay, thanks. No, thanks for the heads up. So, okay. Which one's the toughest? Glasgow, no. Glasgow was smooth, easy, and so Birmingham is. Newcastle? Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to get everybody who came in together, just like we did in Australia. I'm going to show you of what this awakening tour looks like, because whenever a Muslim man stands on this sort of a podium and he starts showing you any verse of the Quran or starts talking about the Prophet ﷺ, all of a sudden we start to tend to go to sleep, which is okay. I get it. That was, वो अम्मी ने बताया था कुरान में बहुत सुकून है और कुरान पढ़ते ही नींद आ जाती है. That was the exact opposite of why the Quran came, to wake us up. And, we use it as a sleeping pill now. And that's why whatever is going on is going on. Okay? And it's not just Palestine. I think the worst calamity in the अब तो मैं Bradford में हूँ, मैं कह सकता हूँ. Palestine is going through whatever it's going through because Pakistan is going through whatever we're going through. Okay? That's as simple as I can make it. And if we cannot become the real Pakistan, well, then there's going to be another Palestine, not just this one. It's going to be closer, farther, doesn't really matter. It is because of my son and your son, my daughter and your daughter, of whatever Palestine is going through. And I'm not going to blame it to my old man, my father or my mother. They did whatever they did. Kalma sikhaya unhone, Nabi Islam se roshnas karaya, job done. Now my job, okay? It's my job to raise my son or my daughter to make him or her understand that if he's not going to do more than just philanthropy, okay, this is not going to cut it. That's what the awakening tour is. I'm going to give you the 4 pillars, and I'm going to give you the mechanics, inshallah. So kids who are less than 20 should be taken care of. Able men and women who are a little over 20. Okay, because if you're not going to do that, then our kids are not going to do that. People who are over 50, they should become the facilitators of whatever I'm about to give you. Okay? Now, there's going to be 2 things that are going to happen. Like literally. After this session, when you're going to fill those SUVs with families in there, there are going to be 2 groups. Most of the people who are going to be driving will be your fathers and mothers. And they'll be like, मैं क्या सी थे नहीं आना. And the kids back in the back seat, they'll be like, "What are you talking about, Mom? Whatever he said made sense." And the daddy will be like, "It's the jal at the jal." He's manipulating the kids. He's like that piper. You know why I'm saying that? This literally goes on, and kids and sometimes old folks call me and say, literally the same thing. So this is going to be a very polar session. It's going to split the family into two, literally. And I don't intend to do that. You know who's going to do that? Common sense. And that's why whatever's going on is going on. You think the kind of words that, Imam Saab just used about me were real? There was a fatwa in flowing, I came from Ittihad, so the fatwa was flying right, next to me. Before I landed in England, the fatwa had already, circulated. I am not allowed in a lot of masjids in UK. Did you know that? No? Well, now you do. Why? Why do you think that is? No. Well, of course, yeah. Yeah. Why? Because of a very simple thing. No, okay. Let me just ask you a few questions. You're going to find out. Yeah, anyone from this side? Anyone, just voluntarily. I want to see your accents. I want to see I want to taxi for about 20 minutes only, okay? Last session in London, they told me you taxi too long. People get a little, people are waiting for this. So, but I need to know you guys before I open this, because I need to choose the language and the speed. Anybody? Yeah, come on. Yes, you don't have to stand up, don't worry. Yeah, thank you. What's your name? What's your name? What's your name? Muzdalifa. Okay, with an M? Muzdalifa, okay. So why did you come here? Did you come here by choice, or did somebody bring you here? To be honest, I don't get this about England. If you say that in Canada, America, they'll be thinking you're lying for the last, before all of that. Because to be honest means everything else is false. After whatever I'm going to say now is going to be honest. To be honest, I know it's an English thing. I mean, whatever you say is honest. Okay? So what did you say after you were honest?
My dad brought me here.
Dad, okay. Why do you think he did that?
He wants me to see things from different perspective, maybe.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
What things?
Not quite sure, to be honest.
Telling you. I mean, it'll work in England, but right after you cross any airport, don't do that. To be honest, it'll kill you. Yes. Mustafa, how old are you?
I'm 24.
And you study?
Yeah. I'm doing doctorate in clinical psychology.
Really? Clinical psychology. Why?
Well, I did bachelor's in psychology, looked at a couple of things I could do. I did Islamic psychology as well. So I sort of had to decide what to do next. So from looking at my options, that was probably...
While you go. You're looking at options while you go.
I saw that the need, how much, like in our Asian community, people don't recognize mental health. And
Yeah, actually, if anybody comes in about 20 meters of your radius, he's not going to get married. You know that, right? Pakistan mein ek syndrome hai. Oh, psychologist. He went to the psychologist. Cool. Yeah. Isn't it? Yeah. So it's a tough profession in Bradford. Yeah. You need a lot of white clientele. Yeah. But tell me something. How can a psychologist in England help somebody in Tunisia while she sits in England?
Repeat that again, sorry.
Change the country, okay, it's a tough name. How can you, sitting in Bradford, in the next 10 years, fix more than just a patient in Lebanon or Sudan or Indonesia?
It is going to be tough because the work that we do around here, we focus mainly on people that belong here, even though I think right now the focus has changed to global majority, so the work that we're doing is more around global majority as well. So I guess we can take what we're learning and adopt it to different countries as well.
I'm listening. You have no idea how intently I'm listening, to be honest. मुझे slides shift करनी है. They don't have it?
When you need to shift the slide, just ask the guys who do it.
Well, then now will be the time. Now would be the perfect time, actually. Jay, Mustafa?
Yeah. Yeah.
Sudan, Bradford, Mustafa, the triangle.
It is going to be tough, you're right.
Did you go? Well, would you know that there's a guy in let's just say Milwaukee who went into clinical psychology so that while sitting in, let's just say Berkeley, okay, to be a little more probable, we went to Berkeley so that a lot of things in Tel Aviv can move properly. He went into clinical psychology. I mean, I know a guy who's a little younger than you who did this. See, you're going to see a lot of the word politics there. And I need your kids, sons and daughters, jumping into politics right away, starting with your neighborhood, starting with Bradford. And I'll tell you what politics is. It's not democracy, okay? Real politics has nothing to do with democracy. Real politics has everything to do with purpose and vision. Of course, you need a lot of power, so getting that power is politics. Ironic that I'm starting with politics, even though that would be my last pillar. Ironic, but that's what everybody keeps on asking me. कि साहिल साहब आप problems बहुत बताते हैं, solution नहीं बताते. You know? And I'm thinking, you know the word politics. Pakistani se pita kisko pata hai. The only, you know, you are like, I don't know, kitne mil dur aage Pakistan se hum? Anyone did the math? 7,000 aerial distance. 7,000 मील, कई हजार मील बनती है रोड पे तो, मगर फिर भी जियो टीवी लगाते हैं घर आके, ARY लगा होता है. I mean, the fact that you know Nawaz Sharif should be a crime. I'm telling you, especially if your kids knew about him. See how I'm becoming a little Scottish? If your kids knew about, आज के Bradford में आप, you know why मैं ऑस्ट्रेलिया में ना, मेलबर्न में था. And people were asking, Melbourne was like a big, very serious city. अभी गए हैं वो, like अभी इंग्लिश भी नहीं बोल सकते वो, like literally, they were like अभी नहीं सीखी सर, good thing, उनके बच्चे सीखेंगे. And very serious people. And I said, यार मसला पता क्या है? You guys अभी तक Aussie accent, Aussie, you know, वो गोरा गोरी नहीं बर्दाश्त हो रही है तुमसे अभी. 10 साल लगाओ, 1-2 बच्चे पैदा करो, एक दफा पूरे ऑस्ट्रेलियन हो जाओ, एक दफा ये बुखार उतर जाएगा, उस बच्चे जब परवान चढ़ेंगे, they're gonna take over. उनसे मैं बात करूंगा, because अभी तक, you know, they're still in that shock and awe. By the way, that shock and awe was still in Canada. And, you know, you can see it out on the coast in America as well. So, starting from Melbourne to Sydney and Perth, I started yelling कि मैं इंग्लैंड के अलावा कोई उम्मीद नहीं है. मुझे इंग्लैंड में, this is where I have to centralize my movement. And this is a movement. It's called IMS, by the way. Okay. It's a movement. And it's a movement which is going to be fueled by young, hot blood. That's why आपने सुना होगा 40 से ऊपर से उम्मीद नहीं अब. No, don't worry. मुझे उम्मीद है. जिसको मेरे से उम्मीद है, उसको मुझे भी उससे उम्मीद है. But why England? Because Muzdalfas are here. They were born here. They were raised here. They're not confused. Nani Ammi Muzdalfa was total confused. मेरी भी आपकी भी. Okay? And that's not normal. हर immigrant के साथ होता है. It's called acculturation. You're going to see this word. अभी बता रहा हूँ, उर्दू में बताया. Acculturation क्या होता है? It's a word from what subject, Muzdalfa? Acculturation?
I would say sociology, psychology.
Yes. Like from the center of psychology. What is acculturation? अभी बताता हूँ. Like you have been accultured. The English Pakistani is the only Pakistani who is more English, supposedly, than Pakistani. Okay? And you guys should have the English confidence. जितना पुराने आप हैं, इतना तो King Charles नहीं है. No, like literally. आपके कुछ लोग ऐसे बैठे हैं जो कि जिनके दादा आए थे, किंग चार्ल्स अभी पैदा नहीं हुआ था, वो इंग्लैंड में ही थे, किंग चार्ल्स को पैदा होते उन्होंने देखा है, सेलिब्रेशन में वो भी गए थे। Is there anyone who's here in the इतने पुरानी नस्लन इंग्लिश? जल्दी पूछती इंग्लिश कौन है इधर? वेल ओके, सेकंड थर्ड जनरेशन आप लोग इधर ही, ओके। सो इज दैट अ गुड थिंग? इट्स एन अमेजिंग एसेट। दैट मीन्स आपके साइकोलॉजिकल डिसऑर्डर्स ठीक हो चुके हुए, इंफीरियरिटी कॉम्प्लेक्स खत्म। वो पिछली नस्लों के थे, आई गेट इट, एवरीबॉडी गोज थ्रू दैट, बिकॉज अभी बताता हूं वो क्यों होते हैं। आई एम गोना ओपन दिस इन फ्रंट यू, डोंट वरी। But now, everyone who is born here, unless they come together, because now our house is on fire. जब King Charles पैदा हुआ था, by the way, house was on fire at that time as well. World War की बात बता रहा हूँ, all of that stuff was going on. And at that time, the Palestine thing was like seriously hot. And now it's hot again. And it's not just about Palestine, okay? What's the case study? It's about Pakistan. It is the most religious lecture you're ever going to attend. Abhi bata raha hu, I guarantee you that. And I'm going to use the word politics more than any politician you'll ever meet. So, मुझे किस तरीके से स्लाइड शिफ्ट करवा दें। ये इससे आगे साहिल अदीम से आगे कुछ लिखा होगा। मेरा पूरा है किसी के पास? कहाँ है? Who wants to talk to me? इस सवाल के जवाब के लिए आप में से किसी को मुझसे भी तो बात करनी होगी ना। वेट माहिन फिरोज। Okay, so is there a problem? Sorted, okay, sorted. Jay, so well that happens. Yes, sir. Muzdalfa, you understand the meaning of psychology now? Do you really? No, you don't. I'll tell you how. आप माइक अपने पास रखिएगा. There's a study going on right now, because I'm a part of that study, okay? There's a study going on कि किस तरीके से ज़्यादातर आर्मी मेट्स जितने भी डिप्लॉय होते हैं इंटरनेशनल मिशंस के ऊपर दुनिया में, उनका सुसाइड रेट 30 टाइम्स मोर होता है रेगुलर सुसाइड रेशियोज के अंदर। एंड नाउ दे वर्किंग ऑन दिस एंड इमेजिन सबसे ज़्यादा पूछ आप मुझसे पूछ लें क्वेश्चन।
I'm just going to add a good comment because there are so many families here.
Who?
उनके fathers लेके आए हैं बच्चों को।
Awesome.
But opposite here, my kids brought me here. So
I am sorry. I apologize. Yeah, I apologize. No, it happens. It's going to keep happening, inshallah. It is. कहाँ है बच्चे याद करा करें? Good job. Good job. But you got to follow through, eh? Yeah? Follow through. Follow through. This is not a 4-hour thing. It's a 40-year thing. Inshallah. So from the boys, any 20-year-old? 30-year-old? Oh, yes, sir. Yeah. 20-year-old. You're 20. What's your name? So, Mahad. Mahad, why are you here?
I have questions.
Oh, okay. That's why you came here. You have questions. Give me one.
I think we can save it for
When I'm dead.
No.
Come on, I'm right here. Come on.
Okay.
The way I'm going to be dead sooner than you think. No, I mean it.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, inshallah.
How do I make my youth explode the way you say that our youth, Muslim youth, needs to explode?
With a D-E or an R-E? Explore or explode? No, I can't get it. See, this is where English is.
D, with a D.
You want to blow up the kids?
No.
What do you mean explode?
No.
Oh, okay, you mean, I know, okay, yeah, you mean like energy,
The
yeah.
bomb you talk about.
Yeah, the bomb I talk about, yeah, the minds, the minds. Okay, yeah, that's where I hear. I'm going to open it up as soon as somebody just helps me go to, oh, here you go. Which, yeah, okay. So how can I get, verbally? Batata runga, aap shift karte rahenge? Okay, let's just, that's your only question? Okay. Give me what do you think of when you say, what's the vision that comes to your mind?
You talk about the verses of the Quran that say every single thing that goes wrong in the world that Allah has given us is a responsibility of a Muslim man.
Every single thing, yeah.
Yeah.
Adult.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm a Muslim man. It bothers me when there's a non-Muslim African kid suffering, and then there's Netanyahu, and there's Joe Biden sitting there. They can talk about whatever they want, and I can't do anything about it. It bothers me every single day that I wake up. It makes me not want to wake up, but I wake up because I know my responsibilities will be questioned. Every single thing that I stand for, every single thing I breathe for, Allah will question it.
Yeah.
And I want to be able to answer Him.
Okay, there are two things that are going to happen. Okay. There are two things that are in the way of this and whatever's going on right now. But whatever you have in your mind and whatever is. Are you from Bradford?
No.
Really?
I got here 2 weeks ago.
Forever?
No. Allah knows best, but for studying.
Oh, okay. So you're going to be in Bradford for a little while now. Okay. So Imam Jafar Sadiq said, when the first light, which means at the dawn, first light does not bring with it the worry of your nation as a Muslim, you have not entered Islam yet. सूरज की पहली किरण सबसे पहले कौम का मसला नहीं लेके आती तो इस्लाम में दाखिल नहीं होगे आप. Okay. Now you put this litmus test on you and you tell me how many Muslims there are in the room. See, that's the problem. This is the difference between Umar ibn Khattab and Sahil Adeem. मस्जिद नबी में नमाज हो रही है, जान के उर्दू में बता रहा हूं ताकि आपको कोई कसर न रह जाए. अमीरुल मोमिनीन उमर बिन खत्ताब नमाज पढ़ा रहे हैं, पीछे अब्दुर्रहमान बिन औफ बैठे हैं, राय पूरी सफ पूरी मस्जिद भरी हुई, अस्सलाम वालेकुम रहमतुल्लाह, and then he says the other salam, नमाज खत्म हुई ऐसे अस्सलाम वालेकुम रहमतुल्लाह, and then he turns around and he says, ओ अब्दुर्रहमान, यमन में फौजी कम भेजें, यमन में फौजी कम भेजें. And people are like amazed कि कोई सेकंड गुजरता है उमर बिन खत्ताब का कि he's not thinking about whatever Muslims are going through. By the way, इसी बात से, इसी हदीस से फतवा लेके जमहूर उलमा ने कहा नमाज में आप क्या क्या चीजें हलाओ है सोचने का. So
question on this.
yeah.
After Umar bin Khattab, why we were not able to
Produce another Umar.
No, we were not able to produce another Umar. That's another thing. The second thing is why we're not able to produce a guideline, because within 30 years, whatever Rasulullah created, that one state that fall apart within 30 years. So look at now, there's a smooth way to move the power after Magna Carta in 16th century. Europe gave us more of a democracy and things. Why Muslim, we were not able to produce such guidelines for smooth transfer of power? Because majority of what we lost in that era because of this power struggle. Was there any reason behind it? Why we were not able to produce?
Yeah, it's a good question. Should I start with this question? सबको समझ आया सवाल? Who knows about the second coming of Isa ibn Maryam? Do we believe that he's going to come in again? Do we believe that as Muslims? Hath kara karein, who believes that? Who believes that? Okay, from the back, right back. Kya naam hai? The red shirt. Yes, sir. Yeah. I can only see your arm. Kya naam hai aapka? Zishan. You believe that? So, when is he coming? Remember, I'm answering your question, okay? When is he coming? No, the answer is you don't know that. Nobody knows that, right? Yeah, you don't know that. But how long is he staying for? Now, that's something we know. Remember, I'm trying to answer this question. And this is Muzdalfa, your expertise. You better understand why I'm connecting you here. G.
Yes.
How long is he staying for?
Apparently 40 years.
Yeah. And right after that, what's going to happen?
Things will go back to
Two?
destruction.
Yeah. How long is that going to take?
Not too long.
30 years. 30 years. And then people are going to plummet back into immoral depth of whatever they're going to come up with. And after that, Allah Ta'ala ने कुरान ही उठा लेना कि तुम नबी के बाद भी तुम्हें होश आई. क्यों? नबी के बाद तो किसी को भी 1,24,000 दफा हम बेहोश हुए हर नबी के बाद. मसला ये था कि हज़रत ईसा के टाइम पे कोई भी घर नहीं बचेगा जो गैर मुस्लिम रहे. Everyone is going to turn into Islam. People are going to, and that's the Torah I'm quoting you. Torah is going to tell, Torah says, हमें तो पता है हदीस के through, that no more wars, no more bullets, even every single bullet will be melted. The whole metal is going to be used for plows and prune shears. So no more war, no more nothing. And still, everyone's going to go away from Islam. See, you know what? That's group psychology. This is human beings behaving in a group. This is, क्यों कहा था ईसा इब्न मरियम के बाद अब तो किसी ने नहीं वापस आना. ठीक है? So, and that's it. That's the end of the story. वो final nail इसलिए आनी है because of what Dajjal is about to do or shall be doing, and then so on and so forth. Dabbatul ard, and so on. Jajuj, Majuj. That's the final suture. Hadisa is going to be like sewing everything up. Job done. Uske baad, people on their own will do whatever we know. Second coming ke baad kya hona. And that's what they did. Ali bin Abi Talib ke baad, people went, super power unke paas thi. Everyone in the planet knew that this is the only superpower, and that's one little crack. One little crack came. Huzaifa bin Yaman says about Umar al-Khattab, because he knew about Umar al-Khattab, and he says the door is not open, the door is broken. The door will be broken, which means कि जब हल्का सा क्रैक मिलता है ना तो सैलाब डैम को तोड़ के निकल आता है. ह्यूमन बिहेवियर काम ही ऐसे करता है. This is the death of Umar al-Khattab. The door will be broken and all of fitna will be let loose, and then we will not be able to suture it back in. Okay? ये मैं आपके सवाल का जवाब क्यों दे रहा हूँ? Because this is group psychology. And this is why we're not understanding that there's a problem in the deeper definition of psychology जो कि हमारे साथ हुई हैं. And I'm going to prove it to you in front of you. It's not a mental game I'm going to play with you. I'm going to ask you some certain questions and I'm going to tell you, well, if the Quran was so explicit, then how do we answer simple questions? Because no one is going to be able to answer these questions. And I'll tell you where the formula and solution is. I'm here to give you energy to get more money, power, morality, acumen, IQ. Unless you get all of these 4 or 5 things, I'm sorry, you are the problem. You are the problem if you do not have all of those, and if you don't have a plan to get all of those. It doesn't matter whether you're going to psychology or sociology or politics or mathematics or physics. It doesn't matter. What matters is why you're going into this. Because right now I know what you're going through and why you're going through whatever you're going through in studies and in your careers. I mean, we all know that. I mean, it's not rocket science. Let's just take a case study. Anybody who's been here for more than 20 years, ask them. हम सबको इस सवाल का जवाब पता है कि रोज मैं सुबह क्यों उठता हूँ, इंग्लैंड में क्या कर रहा हूँ. You know what? He's going to have a pile of emotional, and rational verbiage. रुला के रख देगा आपको पाकिस्तानी तो. Literally 5 मिनट में रुला देगा आपको कि इंग्लैंड में क्या चल रहा है तेरा. And he'll be like, बैठ मेरी जान बैठ, तुझे बताऊं मेरे साथ क्या चल रहा है. You will actually cry or whatever. Your father, what's your name? Beta, in the front? Aida, where's your father? Yeah, there you go. Ask him. You know his story of the transit, you'll cry. Itni struggle वाकई में करता है पाकिस्तानी मर्द. Any immigrant man, by the way. It's not just the Pakistani. But since we're the Pakistanis, हम ज़रा ज़्यादा emotional होते हैं. So, he does not tell you. It's his job not to let you know the pain he goes through. Where is he, by the way? One of us. Here you go. No worries, don't worry. So let's not pick him up. Maybe he's going to feel embarrassed. I'm actually trying to praise the man. Of course, no points taken away from the women. I'm just talking about the man first, okay? I'm going to come to you, don't worry. Regular life क्या है एक इंसान की? Struggle. Money, economy, pressure, resources, bills, forget about the luxury of the car and the house and whatever. You gotta live here, you gotta pay. You gotta pay up. Why? Because you got kids, they gotta eat. Then they gotta go to school and, every single thing comes later on. And then comes the turban guy explain to you कि भाई बात सुन 1000 तुझे options मिल रही हैं हर 2 नंबरी करने की इतना अपने आप को स्ट्रगलर कहता है फिर भी शराब फिर भी dance parties and all of that stuff फिर भी नशा फिर भी all of that stuff 2 नंबरी रिश्वत सूद फिर भी चलो ठीक है सूद और रिश्वत तो तू जस्टिफाई कर रहा है कि मैं क्या करूं I gotta take out the mortgage man otherwise rent इतना ज्यादा देना पड़ेगा it's going to be so much of a loss of so many years मगर अयाशी को तो जस्टिफाई नहीं कर रहे ना ड्रग्स को तो जस्टिफाई नहीं करते because I'm a struggler I gotta do coke nobody can do that I mean mortgage को जस्टिफाई करते हैं well everyone's कारण को गांधी साहब ने बता दिया okay done first mortgage is okay don't take the second mortgage out I get it मगर बाकी के मामलात को जस्टिफाई नहीं करते somebody comes in and resurrects well he doesn't resurrect वो करता क्या वो हर चीज को okay की रिपोर्ट दे देता है हर चीज में okay कर देता है because we need that okay there's a Pauline sitting in every Muslim we need that okay कि सारा कुछ के बाद भी तू जन्नत में चल जाएगा फिक्र न कर वो कैसे जन्नत में चल जाएगा well because दिल में इस्लाम होना चाहिए 5 नमाजें पूरी कर रहे हैं ना बस नमाज ना छोड़ी और ये पकड़ ये तस्बीह अज़कार पूरे रख And I get it. It's an amazing story, such a beautiful story to tell to any struggler, especially in struggler. मैं overseas की बात कर रहा हूँ, because you're not your neighborhood. You don't have your friends who are going to show you the mirror. England में नहीं मिलेंगे वो आपको. People who are going to show you the mirror. वो आपको मीरपुर में ही मिलेंगे. तो हाँ, yeah, that's the truth. यहाँ पे पता कौन मिलेगा? एक गलती कर मेरे सामने बस ताकि मैं भी वो कर सकूं so that I would know I'm not the only one you know what I'm saying and I'm not just going to pick on the mortgage thing okay but it started with one guy and everybody was like वो चूंकि वो कर रहा है तो मैं अकेला तो नहीं मर रहा ना forget कि scholar ने okay कर दिया scholar is never going to do okay to coke or meth or gangs or a lot of other things. No, he's not going to do that. ये तो चलो जो भी technicality is skip. I'm not a mufti. I'm not going to go in there, even though blatant mistake. What I'm saying is, यहाँ पे that guy who's not going to show you the mirror. I'm that guy, Aiza. I'm going to show you the mirror, and I'm going to make you the mirror for my daughter, because you're in the middle of me and my daughter. You're older than my daughter, right? She's 6. When she's going to grow, you are going to be doing something that she'll be like, no, I got no excuse because there's an Aida in Bradford. If she can live without a mortgage, if she can do that for Sudanese or Tunisians or Pakistanis sitting in Bradford, I better do it in Toronto. We just need enough heroes. That's all. That's real connections and real, inspirations. हमें पता कौन मिल रहा है? Justifiers. शीशा दिखाने वाले मिल नहीं रहे हमें. अभी मैं आपको अपनी केस स्टडी, आपकी फ्यूचर केस स्टडी, पाकिस्तान की genuine केस स्टडी दिखाता हूं. फिक्र ही ना करें. Through what? Through the seerah only. Through the lens of our Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. आयजा दुनिया में इतनी टफ लाइफ किसी किताब में किसी साइकोलॉजिस्ट ने इमेजिन नहीं की जो मेरे नबी ने गुजार दी, आपके नबी ने गुजार दी. हमें कोई ये बता ही नहीं रहा. You think Bradford was tough? Bradford was not tough. विक्टोरिया ने जो कुछ बुरा किया वो बहुत अच्छा, काफी सारे काम अच्छे किए हैं. इतना प्लेटफॉर्म बना के दिया, you did not have to go through many. Actually, you know what? If it were worse, you wouldn't have been here. You would have been back in Mirpur. By the way, Mirpur is one of the most more peaceful areas. Okay, not the best, but more peaceful areas. I mean, I literally live in Mirpur in so many ways because some of my closest friends are from Mirpur. I speak the language too. I understand it. So you came here not to, face the heat. First man through the wall is going to be bloody, sir. Pehli saf ka mujahid. No. You're better than most Pakistanis. You're in better conditions than most Pakistanis, most Indians, most Muslims, most Africans, Egyptians. You're in the top of the food chain. Now, that's why I came here. If you are going to commit 1% of the sin, all of the Muslim land is going to commit 99. Because उनके पास वाकई में social justification होती है. उनके ऊपर सर पे नवाज शरीफ है, पाकिस्तान आर्मी है, उनके सर पे MBS है, मोहम्मद बिन सलमान है उनके सर पे. आपके पास क्या है? ओपननेस थी, do whatever. और आपने अपनी मर्जी की हुई. अभी तक एक बंदे को भी विक्टोरिया का पूरा नाम नहीं आता. Aida? No? Aida, what's Charles' full name? No, the king, your king. Charles who? Incidentally, Charles what? See, यही तो प्रॉब्लम है. नवाज का पूरा नाम आता है ना, नवाज शरीफ. चार्ल्स का पूरा नाम नहीं आता. ये है, इसके लिए मैं खून निकल रहा है आंखों से, आंसू नहीं आ रहे. आयदा, नवाज शरीफ का पता है? इमरान खान का पता ना? Yeah, of course. See, कभी किसी ने सोचा नहीं चार्ल्स का भी तो पूरा नाम होगा नहीं? उसका खाली नाम चार्ल्स तो नहीं रख सकते ना? Imagine हॉल में ना 1% को भी नहीं पता था जवाब. सब चुप है. कोई ये ना हो कि कोई पूछ ले मेरे से. You mean God save the king, eh? ओथ में बोला आपके दादा ने यहाँ पे. Oh, well, I was a queen at that time. So I need to. Okay, no, don't shift that. Let's just let's start with the basics, very basics. Okay, I'm gonna take altitude now. I'm gonna take off. Okay, I'm gonna be a little quick, swift. उर्दू अंग्रेजी मिक्स कर रहा हूँ मैं. Please don't mind. जो भी चीज ना समझ आए उसी वक्त खड़े हो जाएगा. So मेरी सारी life, okay, well, I've been in mixed cultures, and my story starts from Anchorage, Alaska, okay, where a struggler was sent by Pakistan Army to Alaska, where he had to spend the first 24 hours out of the airport in Alaska, by the way, on a bench where he had $12 to think कि $12 में मैं कहाँ पहुँच सकता हूँ. Okay, that's the life of a Pakistani man who wants to do the right thing. Imagine this guy. Imagine a man sitting in Anchorage, Alaska, -60 में. He's thinking कि मेरे 3 बच्चे इस वक्त पाकिस्तान में अपनी बीवी के साथ हैं और मेरे पास टोटल $12 हैं. Where should I go? What kind of math that this man does? What is the solution to that problem? See? And I'm not here talking about my story. I'm going to tell you a story, inshallah, in some session somewhere. I'm here to tell you that I know what you went through and what you're going through. Don't worry. The immigrant goes through a bigger problem than the local in Pakistan. जो local Pakistani का confidence है, वो आपके बच्चों का England में हो जाना चाहिए अब. Pakistani का एक false confidence नहीं, true confidence. We're in a Muslim-dominated area. Okay? I never could get that confidence which was the Mustafas or, the Shans are going to have here. You know what? I was, in that country, जहाँ पे इस तरह की population में पाकिस्तानी या कोई Muslim speaker आए, इतना बंदा नहीं आ सकता हॉल में. There were never those kind of Muslims. I was the only Muslim in Chicago. When I was in Chicago, of course, there were many, but I never saw them when I was growing up. So imagine किस level के complexes होते हैं. I mean, I know किस level के complexes होते हैं. So you are the only hope for all of the overseas Muslims. Not just English Muslims, Bradfordians की बात कर रहा हूँ. You know what you're known as, right? You're known as Pakistan. कि ब्रैडफोर्ड नहीं जा रहे हैं, पाकिस्तान जा रहे हैं. यहाँ पे तो इशारे भी तोड़ देते हैं हम. Literally, गाड़ी जहाँ मर्जी पार्क कर दो सर, पाकिस्तान है, पाकिस्तान है. Did you know that, Isa? Yeah. I mean, I'm not saying I'm proud of this, to hear this, but I'm saying is, it felt good to hear this. कि पाकिस्तान, इसका मतलब है, कोई बच्चों को inferiority complex नहीं होगा. सब के सब एक खास connection और community के अंदर होंगे. Okay, I hope so. और पाकिस्तान वाली और भी बुराइयां होंगी, जिसमें देसी मसाइल भी होंगे, but you are going to be able to create a bigger power here than anywhere in Manchester or Birmingham or Bristol or London. I hope so. Let's be just, I'm so handicapped. मुझे पता है मैं ऐसे कर रहा हूँ, मेरा अंगूठा बार-बार, मेरे हाथ में कंट्रोलर नहीं है. आगे चले, मैं वापस इस पे आता हूँ. I'm covering a lot of slides here. Okay, so kids, I'm going to keep you as my anchor. Okay, how old are you? 12? You're 13. Okay, so keep me. I'm like, stay with me. Jay, आगे चले. Stay. Here you go. This is what I need you to understand. It's not too technical. Don't worry. Is there a दूर भी है? I'm going to explain it to you. Don't worry. This is what I just explained. कि एक पाकिस्तानी जब इंग्लैंड में आएगा तो उसके ट्रांजिटिव पीरियड में होता क्या है. Okay. So मेरी ना मेरे सेशन में ना सबसे ज़्यादा जो कॉमन वर्ड बोला जाएगा उस वर्ड का नाम है आइडेंटिटी. ओके, जिस वजह से मैं भी आपसे कह रहा हूँ आइडेंटिटी क्राइसिस, यू नो, माइनॉरिटी इन इंग्लैंड, पाकिस्तानी डोमिनेट एरिया, यू नो, GOARY, जिसकी वजह से आप नवाज शरीफ को जान रहे हो. व्हाई डू यू थिंक, यू नो, यू ऑल, सबके घरों में देसी न्यूज़ पाकिस्तान की चल रही है. व्हाई डू यू थिंक दैट इज? आयदा आपके घर में भी GOARY लगा रहता है. व्हाई डू यू थिंक दैट इज? Yeah, stay with me. Stay on the mic, okay? Baba likes it. Baba likes to be abreast of whatever's going on in Pakistan. Pakistan, okay. 24 घंटे? 24 घंटे? Like whenever, you know कि TV हर वक्त on रहेगा और हर वक्त वही चैनल लगे रहेंगे, okay? It's not just your Baba, it's my Baba, every Baba, okay? Every household has to have, it's not just England, by the way. It's California, it's Indonesia, it's Australia. Okay, GOARY is so awesome. It's everywhere. Word to the wise. कोई भी इस तरह की खबरों का चैनल खोलेंगे, it'll be global. Okay, so why? Why does he like it? About what? Halat, the halat. Listen, but his real halat are in Bradford, eh? Tax, job, expenses, grocery, everything. Your local MP, what's his name? Isa, come on, look at me. Really, Isa, you're 13. What grade did you go to? You studying? आप लोगों को तो पता है ना? Really, कोई बता नहीं रहा MP का नाम? Yes. Okay. यहाँ के? Who did he fight against? Ida, see, the problem starts somewhere else. But you got to fix it. Okay? This is a simple concept. गौर से समझ लें. जब भी कोई इंसान किसी भी इंसान से मिलता है, especially at her age, she's 13, okay? Her brain is just about to develop this. Actually, she's starting to develop. Girls started at 11, actually 10, sometimes even 9. This prefrontal cortex, okay? Before that, we do not have an identity. Every human child before the 10th year does not have an identity. You want to test it? Test it. You'll find out. After that 11th, 12th, 13th year, they start developing an identity. In England, we call it the teenage disorder, eh? Because they're trying to find out real answers. That's the identity. I'm not going to be a copy of you, mommy. Okay, I am my own person. What's your full name? Isa Atif. Okay, and what's your mommy's name? Mrs. Atif. Yeah, see, that's not her real name, eh? That's not her real name, Mrs. Atif. That was a joke. Come on, you played. right into it. What's her name?
Uzma
Atif, okay? Now, anything that I'm going to ever ask after the 11th year of my age is to fulfill the data for what my identity is. Like anything. Any single piece of data will be filtered for creating my identity as Aiza Atif. Right now, her microscopes and telescopes are open, processing data about whatever I'm saying or whatever I'm showing. Because this is a deeper part of identity, which is called the belief. As a Muslim, any and everybody in this room only has one commonality. It's not Pakistan. It's Islam. Because there's some Indians here. They don't even know Nawaz Sharif. See, Hyderabad, you know who Nawaz Sharif is? Really? बुराई हर जगह फैली हुई है नहीं? Really? क्या नाम है आपका? राजेश्वरी. आपको कैसे पता नवाज शरीफ का? अच्छा, बाय द वे, हम में से ना पाकिस्तानी इतने सेल्फ ऑब्सेस्ड हैं, हमें कख नहीं पता कि इंडिया के मिनिस्टर्स के नाम क्या हैं. हम इतने ऑब्सेस्ड हैं नवाज शरीफ, इमरान खान से. नो वी डोंट. मोदी का इसलिए पता है, मोदी वायरल हो गया, वरना उसका भी नहीं. अच्छा, अब अभी टेस्ट लेते हैं. मोदी से पहले कौन था प्राइम मिनिस्टर इंडिया का? देखिए, सारे पाकिस्तानी फेल. एक दो को पता होगा. उससे पिछला कौन था? फिर वो भी हाथ नीचे चला जाएगा. You know, but see, Aiza, you're from Pakistan, eh? Yeah, so we're pretty famous in India. Indians are not famous in Pakistan. Because we are so obsessed. हर वक्त नवाज शरीफ, कोई भी बात हो, हमने उसको इमरान खान नवाज शरीफ को गाली और अच्छाई, कसीदा और बरीदा दोनों कर दिए हमने. So what I need is you to understand बच्चा डेवलप कैसे हो रहा होता है आपके सामने. आपका बच्चा GOARY से नहीं डेवलप हो रहा खाली. आपका बच्चा दो चीजों से डेवलप हो रहा है. Your fears and fascinations. Fears, fascination. Fear क्या है? Insecurities, you know, death and disease and whatever calamity. Fascination क्या है? Your success, big car, big house. शादी क्यों करनी है? बच्चों की शादी किससे करानी है? Whatever the definition. These two things, whatever you're crying about, whatever you're yearning for, बच्चे उसको hone in करें. This is what the word identity is. I'm not going to go in that detail. Okay, इतना बड़ा सेशन नहीं है. No, अभी नहीं, एक सेकंड पीछे बस. One slide पीछे. Now, there's a problem here. The problem is कि अगर ये सेशन पाकिस्तान में हो रहा होता तो फिर आइडेंटिटी के और डेटा पॉइंट्स होने थे. चूंकि ये पाकिस्तानियों का सेशन इंग्लैंड में हो रहा है, सो द प्रॉब्लम बिकम्स अ लिटिल बिगर. इसलिए आपको बहुत कॉशियसली अपने बच्चों को इस्लाम बताना था. मगर हुआ क्या? इस्लाम became part of the English identity. That's a problem. Imagine such a big statement I'm giving right in the center of England, eh? Islam became a part of the English identity, even though England should have become a part of the Islamic identity. Now that's a big difference. That means you're never going to go global. That's the difference between a Muslim and a Jew. They're always going to remain global, and we're always going to localize ourselves. जिधर जाएंगे उधर की डेफिनेशन के अंदर इस्लाम को सबसर्विएंट कर लेंगे. Big problem. And that's the difference why masjids don't want to put a guy like me on the pulpit. That's the only difference. वरना तो मेरे और उनके, एक मस्जिद ने तो मुझे कहा आपका अकीदा टेस्ट करना है. And I said टेस्ट कर लेना, फिर बाद में ये ना हो आप काफिर साबित हो जाएं, क्योंकि मेरा अकीदा तो मुझे पता है क्या है. वो क्वेश्चनियर में आप पूरे नहीं उतर रहे जो क्वेश्चन मुझसे पूछना चाह रहे हैं आप. This is a problem because you've localized Islam. You try to put Islam as an English servant. It's not going to do that. हर जगह में फेल होगा. और बच्चे फिर क्या करेंगे? एथिस्ट होके निकलेंगे स्कूल से. बिकॉज स्कूल में जेन्युइन सवाल पूछे जाएंगे क्लास फेलोज से. स्कूल में कॉमन सेंस के सवाल पूछे जाएंगे जिसमें मुसलमान बच्चा जवाब दे ही नहीं सकेगा. और अब अगले 5 सालों बाद तो 30-40% जवाब नहीं दे सकेगा. पहले तो 1-2 सवाल होते थे. अभी नजर आएंगे आपको वो सवाल. फिक्र नहीं करें. I'm going to show you those questions. And then you'll be like, oh my God, now I know मेरे बच्चे के tattoos के नंबर क्यों बढ़ना शुरू हो गए हैं. Now I know, you know, why does my boy all of a sudden smells a little bit like meth? because they need to satisfy that identity somewhere. जितना भी बच्चा गैंग्स में जाता है ना, वो रिएक्शन देता है कि मुझे आइडेंटिटी मिल रही है वहां पे. Gang is an identity. There is an insignia of every gang. That insignia is identity. That's a problem. जो mommies and daddies are not understanding. दो बच्चा आपके बच्चों में से गैंग के मसला तो नहीं है यहाँ पे, क्या नाम है, ब्रैडफोर्ड में गैंग्स एंड ड्रग्स के इशू तो नहीं है. Yeah, I know that. Don't worry. I was just kind of, looking at how quiet all of you guys are. Ironic. जी अब आगे चलें सर. Now एक स्लाइड आगे चलें, ज़्यादा नहीं, बस. There you go. Now होता क्या है आयशा? उर्दू समझ आती है ना? होता ही है बेटा, human beings move whenever we look at each other. हमारी जो पाउंड कितने का है? ब्रिटिश पाउंड स्टर्लिंग, हाउ मच इज इट फॉर? 366 पाकिस्तानी रुपीस. 366 पाकिस्तानी रुपीस. Okay. What if it was, when you guys came in, it was what, 66 Pakistani rupees? Now it's 366 Pakistani rupees. Okay, that's a big problem. Now that is going to increase the Pakistani demand. Pakistan ki jo bachcha hai na, jo ladka ladki, 300 times more to come to England because it's 366 Pakistani rupees. और इंडिया में उल्टा होगा, इंडिया में 366 का नहीं होगा. जी राजेश्वरी कितने का है? 100. Oh my God, hurts, doesn't it? नवाज शरीफ पे और तो गुस्सा आया ना, और मोदी को गालियां दे रहे होते हैं. ये देखें मोदी की परफॉर्मेंस बेहतर है. I mean, it's just a simple litmus test. बहुत हमें शौक है वो मोदी सेटन शैतान असल में आया हुआ है 100 रुपए का. हमारा शैतान बड़ा था या उसका? हमारा. सो होता क्या है, गौर से देखें. हम सेल्फ एस्टीम, क्या होती है सेल्फ एस्टीम पता ना? माई आइडेंटिटी इज माई सेल्फ एस्टीम. बस यहां तक रखें, ज़्यादा साइकोलॉजी में नहीं जा रहा. मैं अपनी सेल्फ एस्टीम, अपनी आइडेंटिटी को इन 3 चीजों के ऊपर मेजर करता हूं. हर दुनिया का इंसान डिजाइन हुआ हुआ मेजर करने के लिए. सहाबा ने इस डिजाइन को मैनिफेस्ट करके दिखा दिया था कि ये लो, दैट्स द बेस्ट वे टू मैनिफेस्ट दीज 3 थिंग्स. ये 3 चीजें हमें समझ नहीं आ रही. हमने भी वही 3 चीजें, इंसान बिहेव ही उन 3 चीजों पे करता है. पावर, इंटेलेक्ट. इंटेलेक्ट का मतलब है your philosophy and the way you make sense about life and general questions and what's the word, knowledge. Yeah, bigger sets of knowledge. So power का मतलब है control, the politics. Intellect का मतलब knowledge, and then money, resources. इन 3 चीजों के अलावा ना आप में से कोई इंग्लैंड आया, ना कोई फ्यूचर में आएगा, ना इंग्लैंड वाला कहीं और जाएगा, क्योंकि इंग्लैंड के पास इन तीनों चीजों में से तीनों थी. By the way, अभी भी इंग्लैंड is the center of the intellectual core of European philosophy as well. England is that big. That's why I have hope from your kids, because they're used to this sort of thing. क्या होता है उससे? पाकिस्तान में क्रिकेट खेलने के क्लब्स में और चाइना के क्रिकेट के क्लब्स में क्या फर्क होता है? कॉमन सेंस का सवाल है. पाकिस्तान में टफ है क्रिकेट के क्लब्स में पाकिस्तान टीम में आना, और चाइना में इतना टफ नहीं, बिकॉज पाकिस्तान में सारे ही बड़े बड़े प्लेयर हर क्लब में बच्चे बच्चे ट्रेन होकर खेल रहे होते हैं, स्टैंडर्ड्स ऊपर होते हैं, और हर क्लब के बंदे को भी पता होता है कि बॉलर तेज है या स्लो है, बैट्समैन ठीक है, टेक्निक गलत है, क्योंकि और जिन स्टैंडर्ड्स पे हम यूज्ड टू हो गए वो स्टैंडर्ड्स इतने हाई हैं. ओके, बिल्कुल ऐसे ही इंग्लैंड में नॉलेज के स्टैंडर्ड्स, इंटेलेक्ट के, इंटेलेक्चुअल एक्यूमेन के मेजर्स और स्टैंडर्ड्स पाकिस्तान से जमीन आसमान का फर्क है. सो अ पाकिस्तानी गर्ल at 13 won't even know what you are so used to, because it's everywhere. I'm talking about knowledge and the way people are talking about certain things. That's a big problem. इसलिए Pakistan, you know what, Aiza, when I go and speak to universities in Pakistan, you know what, they're dumbfounded. They think, sir, why don't you dumb it down for us? Because I don't even understand these words you're saying. And I'm talking about Urdu. I'm not talking about English. By the way, there are some words I'm going to say here, which I was shocked that even Londoners are like, sir, you know what, you used a little too, or even Glasgow. They said you went a little too technical on us, we don't even know the words which you just यहाँ पे क्या लिख के चले गए आप? इसका मतलब है लंदन के अंदर क्या नाम, इंग्लैंड के अंदर छोटा सा पाकिस्तान असल में बनाया हमने अपने बच्चों को किंग चार्ल्स से भी दूर करके रख दिया कि इंटेलेक्चुअल स्टैंडर्ड्स, एक्यूमेन के स्टैंडर्ड भी दूर कर दें। अभी मैं आपको बताता हूं। क्या इंटेलेक्चुअल स्टैंडर्ड क्यों कह रहा हूं मैं, सबसे पहले इसकी बात क्यों की है मैंने, बिकॉज इसका मुजाहरा इंग्लैंड ने पिछले 300-400 साल से इस लेवल पे किया है कि जितने फिजिक्स के लॉज हैं ये आपकी कैम्ब्रिज से आए हुए हैं। ओके, 99% of all of science was run by England. The father of science came from where, Isa? Isa, come on. What are you studying, by the Isa? आप सामने बैठ गई हो ना, मारी गई हो। What are you studying?
Lots of subjects.
Physics?
Yes.
Yeah. Father of physics is?
Albert Einstein.
No. It's just famous of physics, not father of physics. Sir Isaac Newton. Where is he from? Where did he study? Okay, which country? अम्मी क्या फिजिक्स की प्रोफेसर है? ये अम्मी है? Who is she? Your mom and your aunt. Okay. Sir Isaac Newton नाम सुना है? You know Newton? Okay. He's from England. Yeah. I swear to God he's from England. Okay. Believe me, it's not a trick question. Okay. So Newton is from England. Physics came from all of our is physics. Cambridge ने जो काम किया ना फिजिक्स के लिए पूरी की पूरी दुनिया ने मिलकर नहीं किया. Okay. So any and every subject I can think of, you think एक मुसलमान बताएं जो इस वक्त पिछले 400 साल से इन स्टैंडर्ड्स पे काम कर रहा है. मैथमेटिशियंस, मैथमेटिक्स का फील्ड्स मेडल इंग्लैंड से जा रहा है. नोबेल प्राइज सारे के सारे यहाँ पे नॉर्वे और इंग्लैंड के लोग सेटल कर रहे हैं. ऑल ऑफ योर नॉलेज. तो होता क्या है, अल्लाह तालीम के लिए हमने फिर अपने बच्चे कहाँ भेजने होते हैं? इंग्लैंड. ओके, आई नो हार्वर्ड और जेल इस वक्त कूल नेम्स हैं, बट ऑक्सफोर्ड और कैम्ब्रिज से ऊपर नहीं है. दिस इज द प्रॉब्लम यू केम हियर टू सॉल्व. आपके बैक ऑफ द माइंड में यही था, एजुकेशन, किड्स एजुकेशन. दैट्स व्हाई यू केम हियर. And you were not wrong. You were dead on right. That my kids, when they're going to go walk the streets of England, they're going to be so eloquently articulating their points of view whenever they're going to be speaking about any subject matter. Because that is not an artificial plastic की demand नहीं है वो. हर माँ बाप की अपने बच्चों से यही ऑर्गेनिक डिमांड होती है कि बात करें तो वजन से बात करें और इस खूबसूरती और शाइस्तगी से बात करें कि अगला बंदा उस शहर में आ जाए. इसको हम नफासत बोलते हैं. अभी भी लड़कियों के रिश्ते माँ बाप जब करते हैं तो लड़के के लहजे और उसकी शाइस्तगी और इल्म पे ही करते हैं कि हाँ बंदा खानदानी लगता है. इवन दो एजुकेशन की डिग्रीज और नाम हमने रखे हुए हैं, वी कैन एक्चुअली मेजर दैट. ओके, नाउ हियर देयर इज अनदर टू थिंग्स, द फाइनेंशियल पिलर एंड देन द पॉलिटिकल, द पावर. इंग्लैंड के पास ये दोनों चीजें थी, आप दोनों इधर आ गए. आई एम गोना कट द स्टोरी शॉर्ट. You get the point now. The problem ये है कि ये जिस order में लिखी हुई है ना मैंने, look at the order I've written there. This is the problem. The political worth, the financial worth, and the intellectual worth. This is actually the current order of the world right now. How we define self-esteem. हमारी self-esteem इसी तरीके से place हुई भी आयजा. So if I get the guy either with an intellectual worth, and then I get a guy in with the political worth and then the financial worth, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to place them in this order. What order? I'm going to put the smartest guy in the bottom, and then the guy with the money on top of him, and the guy with the political power, right on the top. The natural order is literally the reverse. That's what the Muslim identity calls for. कि ये तो होगा ही होगा, मगर इस ऑर्डर में ना कर देना. होगा ही होगा ही. सबसे पहले इंटेलेक्चुअल वर्थ को ऊपर रखो. You want to get inspired? Get inspired by people of knowledge. जिन लोगों की ये ऑर्डर होती है वो डिसऑर्डर में जाते हैं. ये हर साइकोलॉजिस्ट को पता है. इसका साइकोलॉजी 101. I'm not talking about rocket science. मेरी कोई ओपिनियन नहीं है ये. You want to check somebody self esteem के शैटर हुई है कि नहीं, उसको ऑर्डर चेक करें वो किस जगह से अपने आप को अपनी हायरार्की में प्लेस कर रहा है. Here you go. That's the problem. That's why there were many countries to choose from, but we chose England. There was so much money in France. There were so many Ivy Leagues and so much education in, Indonesia or, Japan. No. We want to come to England because the order is right here. And that's why whenever I'm going to try and give you a project or your kids a project, या मस्जिद का कोई जुम्मे का खुतबा भी, जब भी वो मौलवी साहब बोलेंगे, जुम्मे की असर की नमाज से पहले खुतबा ज़ाया हो चुका होगा उसके दिमाग में. That's the problem. कभी आपने सोचा नहीं है कि इतने सारे लेक्चर्स अटेंड करते हैं और हमारे ऊपर असर नहीं होता? हाँ, वेल, यहाँ पे जायरोस्कोप टूटी हुई है. जब जायरोस्कोप ठीक हो जाएगी तो आपको जुम्मे के खुतबे की जरूरत नहीं होगी. मस्जिद में वो रश फजर में लगेगा कि जो जुम्मे में होता है और वॉलंटरली लगेगा. बच्चे इमाम साहब को सिखाने आएंगे, नई चीज ये सीखी है, ये अगले जुम्मे में बताएं. मगर हमने रिवर्स स्पिन दी हुई है. वो कौन दे रहा है? वो अब्बू दे रहा है और वो अम्मी दे रही है. That's the problem. You're gonna have to reverse the gyroscope. It's spinning the other way around. And unless the local masjid imam is a billionaire and he's actually going to win the next election, and King Charles is always talking about this guy, your kids are not going to listen to a word this guy is going to say, even though he's going to be talking about the Quran and Sirah, because you've broken the gyroscope yourself. Well, of course, your mommies did that, I know. Our nannies, our nanas and dadas did that, but you didn't fix it. You catalyzed it. You expedited that whole chemical reaction. And now Isas are only listening to the way I'm saying things instead of what I'm saying. It's not your fault. But I can fix it. And I'm going to fix it through you. You can fix it for my little kirat. You understand me? You know why I use the word kirat? Because you would know this is personal. It's not about money. See, that's the organic appeal I'm creating to through your heart, to your mind. Through your heart, to where? Through your heart, to your mind. That's how it works. I use my daughter Kirat's name so that I can capture your heart and you can activate your mind. You understand me? So, what I'm trying to say is, it's very simple. थोड़ा सा बोरिंग हो गया, इसलिए मैं आप आगे चलूंगा. जब तक आपकी सेल्फ एस्टीम का जायरोस्कोप सही ऑर्डर में मूव नहीं करेगा, और वो कैसे मूव करेगा? डेफिनेशंस उल्टी करनी पड़ेगी. सॉरी, बिल्कुल डेफिनेशन 100% उल्टी करनी पड़ेगी. हाउ? नवाज शरीफ इमरान खान को देखेंगे, या वो इधर आते हैं, वो देखिए पॉलिटिकल वर्थ में आते हैं. सबसे ज्यादा कौन देखा जाता है? नवाज शरीफ इमरान खान. ठीक है, छोड़ दें अभी इंग्लिश पॉलिटिक्स को छोड़ दें, वो तो नहीं आ रहा आपके सामने, मगर आ रहा है, पॉलिटिकल वर्थ ही आ रही है आपके सामने. ओके, simple. Either next time your father puts on Imran Khan or Nawaz Sharif, ask him why. All of a sudden, intellectual juice flow करना शुरू कर देगा घर में. He'll be like, बड़ा मजलूम है, आर्मी ने उसको अंदर पकड़ के मार दिया हुआ है. And he'll be like, वो तो ठीक है. It's just because he's a victim, he cannot be a hero. Just because somebody gets beaten up doesn't become the hero of the movie. Hero of the movie is the guy who saves the guy who's the victim, not the victim. Okay? So all of a sudden, आपके घर पे GOARY में knowledge के people of knowledge should have been celebritized. But no, people of politics and power are. Unless you put people of knowledge in there, sorry, your kids are not gonna set the gyroscope right. And that's how psychology works. आगे चलें सर, अभी आपको डैमेज दिखाता हूं इसका. Okay, just go. I've just covered this. I've covered this. Yeah. One more. This should have, this piece of square should be on the backdrop, but it's okay. It's okay. अब हुआ ये है कि, let me tell you what's going on as a Muslim. I'm going to widen the aperture. गौर से सुनिएगा, some people are going to walk out of this room, okay? Abhi bata raha hu. Some people are going to just walk out. This is where the challenge is. This is where the problem is. Gyroscope टूटी है, पता चल गया आपको. Esteem की definition, identity की definition ही उल्टी की. I get it. But why are you going to walk out after this? Listen to this. This slide is not gonna. This slide ka form. Can you delete this whole picture on top of this somehow? Can you do that? You have a computer? Just forget this. You just square बना हुआ इसको delete कर दें. This is supposed to be in the background. Can you do that? Yes or no? 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 Okay, it's all right. Don't worry. Don't worry. I'm going to let you go for now, okay? Because you and I are talking. Is it okay that I talk to you like this? Yeah, awesome, okay. Then we are going to talk. You know, because I always need somebody to talk to about this. And you're 13. Who is he? What do you know about him? He rebuilt the Kaaba. Adam alayhi salam built the Kaaba. Okay. He rebuilt the Kaaba with no, there's another guy with him. Who is that guy? Yeah. Okay. The father and son built the Kaaba. Okay. So the thing about Ibrahim alayhi salam is that he's the father of all prophets. Okay. Well, most of them. So it's generally we say all prophets because his lineage contains most of the prophets. When was he? When did he come to this planet? When was he born? How many years ago? Lots and lots of how many? How many thousands? Yeah, like 3,000 years, yes. Okay, either 3,000 years ago, Ibrahim alayhi salam came to this planet, okay, roughly. After that, every prophet came in. Now, every prophet that you know of, that whenever, when we quote any prophet, is the son of Ibrahim alayhi salam, okay, except Adam alayhi salam and Nuh alayhi salam, okay? Just a general rule of thumb, okay? Now, for 3,000 years, till the 16th century, there was something going on this planet. 3,000 years till the 16th century. So let's just say 2500 saal. 2500 saal, human beings were going through this one central gyroscope of thought. That's why the biggest problem was against that thought. जो अल्लाह ने भी recognize की कि human beings are generally religious. चाहे वो यहूदी हों, नसरानी हों, मुसलमान हों, चाहे जो भी हों, वो basically central figure of अल्लाह को अगर मानते हैं तो उनका सबसे बड़ा क्राइम एक ही है. उस क्राइम को क्या कहते हैं? शिर्क. मसला ये था कि वो रिलीजियस नहीं थे, ऑर्डर रिलीजियस था. बाकी के मजहब भी काम करते थे, अल्लाह के खिलाफ वाले मजहब भी थे, मगर वो रिलीजियस ऑर्डर के अंडर आते थे. तो पावर रिलीजियस लोगों के पास ही थी. The Christians had the power in the European part. Muslims had the power for, since 1400 years in those parts where abhi bhi hamare paas hi hai wo power, okay? From North Africa to wherever. And Christians had the power from Rome and Greece and now Europe and, so on and so forth. Order of the political order jo tha, wo Bible set कर रही थी. उससे, मुसलमानों के इलाके में कुरान सेट कर रहा था या, इस्लाम सेट कर रहा था. और, यूरोप में बाइबल सेट करी थी. अब मसला क्या था? मसला ये था कि चूंकि पॉलिटिकल ऑर्डर, रूल ऑफ लॉ जो था वो बिब्लिकल था या कुरानिक था, सो बिगर प्रॉब्लम यही थी कि भाई इसके खिलाफ जाओगे तो सबसे बड़ा मसला. और वो क्या था? वो शिर्क. कुरान पाक ने भी कहा इस्लाम का सबसे बड़ा गुनाह क्या है? नहीं, इस्लाम का नंबर 2 गुनाह क्या है? See, now that's a question to ask, eh? Aiza? If shirk is number 1, then what's number 2? Yeah, that's true, yeah. But that's not for Islam, eh? He's not in Islam if he's a kafir, eh? Yeah, but it is for as general human beings, yeah. So, but if in Islam, what is after shirk?
Not reading namaz.
No. Killing your children. Qatl? No. Disobeying parents? No. Riba, sood, no. Sood se bhi upar kya hai? Where's Rahil? Okay. Just wanted to see you. Yeah. So, ji sir. Injustice. Mizan todne. Okay. Yes, sir. Yeah, taghut. What is taghut? Yes, ma'am. Taghut. No, really. कभी सुना तो होगा. Okay. See, anyone who knows what taghut is? Aida? Toy alif. Taghut. I'm going to show it to you. Don't worry. I'm going to show it to you. Okay. This is the English spelling of it. Okay. This is taghut. Okay. So for 2,500 years, human beings were under the divine law. Broken or fixed, doesn't matter, but they were taking it from the Bible or the Quran. Most of the world was taken from the Bible, and the northern world, America to tha nahi. America was discovered in 1492. So England was under what's the word? The Church of England, okay, which is the King James Bible, right? You are the patron owner of the King James Bible, which is the Queen, which is now the King. And that set the law. Shirk could not have possibly, been tolerated at that time. Law was from God. Then happened something else. All the English, the French, the Italian, literally two from Italy actually, Russian and Dutch people came together, started writing books against the oppression of the Bible. कि लॉ इसके समझ नहीं आ रहे वाकई उस वक्त बाइबल बदमाशी भी तो कर रही थी ना इनके साथ जो पादरी था वो बदमाशी पे उतर आया था. He was literally beating the hell out of people to get the money. I mean, read this. So people reacted in England, and the Protestant princess was not even allowed to cross the street when they lost the Great War. The Great War is the biggest war in the history of human beings. 30 years the Europeans fought with each other against the Bible. The people who were people of knowledge and philosophy, they massacred everybody. Because, you know what they said, Isa? They said, we do not want your God's law. They're going to make our own law. That's called the Great War. That's the greatest war in the history of human planet known. Millions and millions and millions of people were killed. In 30 years of constant killing, we never talk about this. We talk about the Holocaust, we talk about the World War, we don't talk about the Great War. Happened here in Europe. Against what, Kaiser? Who were they fighting against? The Bible. The Europeans were fighting against the Bible, the biblical church. So that happened. That's called the Age of Enlightenment. In 200 years, people started writing books, so on and so forth. Now we have Hume, Descartes, Immanuel Kant, John Locke, Thomas Hobbes, and Friedrich Nietzsche. You know the names. You've heard the names. You don't know what they stand for, but they stand for a new way of thinking. And now, 1600-1700 ho gaye, all of a sudden the world went into wars, which we now know as world wars. फिर क्या हुआ? Second World War हुई. Second World War पे आपका मुल्क जीत गया, मेरा मुल्क हार गया. I mean, you're English, right? So I'm just giving you a perspective here. हुआ क्या फिर उससे? इंग्लैंड जीत गया, हम हार गए. पहले ही बाइबल के खिलाफ लॉ चल रहा था और वॉर चल रही थी. लॉ तोड़ के इन्होंने अपना लॉ बनाने की कोशिश की हुई थी. इतने में इंग्लैंड जंग भी जीत गया. और something else happened. Muslims went with Germany, England went with America. They broke Germany into pieces, and then all the Muslim land, because there was only one Muslim state at that time, okay, it was called the Muslim Empire, run by the Turks. Okay, they were with Germany. They fought against England, and England won the war. So they split all of those that Muslim empire into small little countries. Who did that? Your Prime Minister, Winston Churchill, did that. England did that, okay? All the countries of Islam are made by, here in London, in the Buckingham Palace, by Mr. Winston Churchill. All the countries of Musliman, okay, are made by England, by drawing lines on the map. Who does that? The victor does that. The kings do that to the people who've lost. So everybody who wins makes these sort of things. Who loses has no choice but to obey the lines. That's it. ये यहाँ तक आपको समझ आ गई बात, तो आपको पता चलेगा अब इलाज कैसे करना है. That's why I said psychology can change behavior in parts of the world which you, if only you are at the higher pedestal, जो कि इंग्लैंड में है. सो ये दो वाकयात ऐसे हुए हैं, एज ऑफ एनलाइटनमेंट एंड द वर्ल्ड वॉर, कि जिसके बाद मुसलमान हमेशा वेस्ट को ऐसे ऊपर की तरफ देखता है। हर हारा हुआ फौजी जीते हुए फौजी को ऐसे ही देखता है, फिक्र नहीं करेंगे। They had broken the biblical law, put their own laws here, and then they won the world war. Two of these things happened, and as soon as these two things happened, the era of shirk transits into the era of taghut. And the only book that talks about taghut is the Quran. That's the problem. Masla ye hai, we do not have any single Muslim writer from the time of shirk, from the time of taghut, which is famous enough that you've read. हमारे जितने भी laws आ रहे हैं, हमारे जितनी बुक्स आप पढ़ते हैं, जितने भी scholars, and you know all of those celebrities जो कि इमाम ग़ज़ाली, Ibn al-Qayyim, Ibn Taymiyyah, you know, Abu Hanifa, all those people you follow, they are from the time when Muslims had an empire. Muslims had their own law. Okay? Now we are not even in the time. हमारी सारी की सारी determination of definition of identity इस वक्त किसी और नेचर की होनी चाहिए थी। एंड इसीलिए हमारा आम सा बच्चा इतना जेन्युइनली और सुपीरियरली कंफ्यूज्ड है, बिकॉज सारी चीजें सेंस बनाती हैं वेस्टर्न साइकोलॉजी की और वेस्टर्न फिलॉसफी की स्कॉलर्स की, और एक भी चीज सेंस नहीं बना रही मुस्लिम स्कॉलर्स की, बिकॉज मुस्लिम स्कॉलर्स को पहले से ही पता था क्या हमारा सिस्टम तो पहले से, लॉज तो हमारे पहले ही अल्लाह वाले हैं। आपको अभी तक एक चीज कंफ्यूज करेगी क्योंकि मैंने तागूत की डेफिनेशन नहीं बताई, फिक्र नहीं करें। नाउ वी आर इन द एज ऑफ तागूत। नाउ शिर्क इज नॉट द बिगेस्ट क्राइम दैट वी कमिटिंग, बिकॉज आप बता दें कितने मुशरिक बैठे हैं इस हॉल में? जीरो मुशरिकीन है इस हॉल में, रैंडमली चोजन क्राउड है ये। मेरी वो टेस्टिंग में तो नहीं था फॉर्म में, शिर्क तो नहीं करते, करते हो तो मत आना, नहीं करते तो आ जाना। नो, रैंडमली चोजन क्राउड, डिफरेंट कंट्रीज, डिफरेंट सिटीज से आए हुए आप लोग इधर ब्रैडफोर्ड में, एंड नो वन इज अ मुशरिक। दैट मीन्स इट्स अमेजिंग सैंपल। 500-600 बंदा, 400-500 बंदा बैठा हुआ है, इसका मतलब है लॉ लार्ज नंबर इज, जिधर जिधर से आप आए उधर ज्यादातर लोग शिर्क नहीं करते। सो शिर्क इज नॉट द नंबर वन प्रॉब्लम। बट आइजा, यू नो व्हाट, all the people that are here, all the people are committing taghut. That's the problem. That is the problem we are trying to solve through you guys. You're going to stop that. That's the problem I have with most of the people you're going to listen to in the name of Islam. And that's why I need you as my soldier. Because basic समझ आ गई? तागूत क्या होता है पहले मैं बता दूं। तागूत होता है, what is तागूत by the way? Anyone know? Yes ma'am. What's your name? आइन से, हे से, हुमैरा जी, हुमैरा। What is तागूत?
Taghut is following somebody blindly. Somebody means human being, फिरकाबंदी। ऐसे रूल्स को फॉलो करना जो कि अल्लाह के असूलों के खिलाफ, मैन मेड कानून,
या ऐसे रूल बनाना, फॉलो नहीं करना। ऐसे रूल, ऐसे लॉज बना देना जो अल्लाह ने नहीं बनाए हुए, बस तागूत। ऐसे लॉज, ऐसी लेजिस्लेशंस बना देना जो अल्लाह ने नहीं बनाई हुई, तागूत। अब आगे चलें, एक स्लाइड। देयर यू गो। दिस, एक बार फिर बता दो, ऐसे लॉज बना देना जो कि अल्लाह ने नहीं बनाए हुए, वो तागूत कहलाते हैं। द प्रॉब्लम आइजा, यू नो व्हाट द प्रॉब्लम आई हैव इज, मोस्ट ऑफ दोस पीपल द हॉल, इस हॉल में जुम्मे का खुतबा, मुसलमान, हिजाब वाली लड़कियां, दाढ़ी वाले लोग बैठे और तागूत का लफ्ज ही नहीं सुना हुआ। पर सुना होता तो आपको बताया होता उन्होंने, because you knew shirk. Did you know shirk? Yeah. Why did you not know that? Because most of the people don't. The problem is, तागूत को बताने के लिए भी वो जो हिम्मत चाहिए होती है ना, वो इसलिए नहीं बताई जाती बिकॉज सबको पता होता है मैं खुद सबसे बड़ा तागूती हूं, इसलिए आगे बताते ही नहीं है। इससे वो छुप नहीं सकते, क्योंकि हम बच्चे ने उठा देना कि मौलवी साहब बात सुने, आप तो कह रहे थे नंबर 1 गुनाह ये, तो फिर इस मतलब you're drunk while you're talking bad about drinking? You can't do that. I'm sorry. That's the big problem. This is what I'm going to start this session with. Now I'm going to start the session.
सर आप तागूत का क्यों बता रहे हैं?
Now I'm going to start the session.
But you asked us, you told us कि वो बंदा नहीं बताएगा जब तक उसको पता होगा कि वो खुद तागूत कर रहा है. तो आप क्यों बता रहे हैं?
I'm going to tell you. अभी बताने लगा हूँ. Why am I going to tell you? Don't. Good question. Well, it's a relatively good question. Otherwise, it doesn't matter whether I do something right or wrong. What matters is what is right or wrong. Okay? Yes, sir. मुझे बताइएगा मैं क्यों दूंगा फिर आप मुझे क्यों देंगे उसके 5-10 मिनट में ओके मुझे ना जहाज को ना एक दफ़ा स्पीड पकड़ने दें वरना कोई वापस ही नहीं आएगा सेशन के बाद क्योंकि सबको तागूती क्या कि मैंने भेज दिया ना उन्होंने कहना बेटा तू आना तेरा बड़ा तू आया ना तागूत so what happens is Allah Ta'ala in the Quran says, Allahu waliyul ladhina amanu yukhrijuhum min adh-dhulumati ila an-nur. Aida, Dishan, what's your name? Mahad. Allahu waliyul ladhina amanu yukhrijuhum min adh-dhulumati ila an-nur. When Allah grabs somebody to protect him, He takes him out of the darkness, puts him in the light. And nur is not light. Nur is knowledge. Nur is hidayah. That he's in the right path. ये है असली काम. इसका नूर की उर्दू क्या है? ये है असली काम. अभी ग्रामर में बता रहा हूं कि असलियत, हक, हिदायत, ये सब नूर एक खाली लाइट नहीं, नाउज़ बिल्लाह, खाली रोशनी तो नहीं कह सकते नूर को. हम सबको उर्दू में पता है हिदायत का मतलब, नूर का मतलब क्या है? वो नूर का मतलब सिर्फ रोशनी नहीं होती. इसका मतलब होता है मेरा सारा का सारा मामला दुरुस्त है, मैं अब नूर में आ गया. अल्लाहु वलीयुल लज़ीना, जब अल्लाह किसी का वली, प्रोटेक्टर बन जाता है तो फिर अंधेरों से निकाल के उसको हिदायतों में ले आता है, उसको सही रास्ते पे, ट्रैक पे, फिर उसको फॉलो करना जरूरी है क्योंकि वो हिदायत पे आ गया. एंड देन अल्लाह सेज वल्लज़ीना कफरू औलियाउहुमुत तागूत, जब तागूत किसी का प्रोटेक्टर बन जाता है. आयदा, सो अल्लाह एंड तागूत. When Allah is grabbing you, trying to save you, then you are going to be facing the right direction. وَالَّذِينَ كَفَرُوا أَوْلِيَاؤُهُمُ الطَّاغُوتُ يُخْرِجُونَهُم مِّنَ النُّورِ إِلَى الظُّلُمَاتِ. The exact opposite thing happens. Exact opposite. It's not a 50-50 gray, third option, neutral ho jata hu. No, it is the exact opposite. It is that big of a problem. Everything's going to feel or seem right and everything's going to be 100% wrong. That is the problem. That's why it's the biggest sin. Shirk में 50-50 game करते हो, 50-50 का 99-1 भी कर सकते हैं. Taghut is 100% wrong. You can't get anything right now. وَالَّذِينَ كَفَرُوا أَوْلِيَاؤُهُمُ الطَّاغُوتُ يُخْرِجُونَهُم مِّنَ النُّورِ إِلَى الظُّلُمَاتِ. That means there are only two kind of people in the world. That's what that means to psychology, Muzalfa. Literally, this verse put me into psychology. And that's what I'm here to tell you. Literally, no fluff, no clutter. Just walk into the classification, the split. अब आपको समझ आएंगी असली मसाइल, स्पेशली बच्चों के असली सवाल कहां से आ रहे हैं, थॉट ओरिजिनेट कहां से हो रही है. There are only two kinds of people, Allah says. Simple. Go into the thought, okay? जुम्मे का खुतबा नहीं दे रहा हूं मैं इधर. Thought के अंदर जाएं. Go into the thought, thinking pattern of yourselves. When you come into England, when you are thinking of England, and when you go back to Pakistan, अभी पाकिस्तान permanently immigrate करने के लिए आपको कह रहे किंग चार्ल्स, तो सबसे पहली जो थॉट आपके ऊपर आनी है ना, वो पता क्या आनी है? क्या आनी बोला? You're going to lose something. What is the first thing you're going to lose? No, it's not money. Freedom of what? Of choice. Yes, you're going to use your personal liberty. हालांकि आप मुसलमान हैं, पाकिस्तान इस्लामी जमहूरिया पाकिस्तान है, मगर लिबर्टी ज्यादा इंग्लैंड में है. सबको पता है इस बात का. एयरपोर्ट पे लैंड होते ही पता चल जाता है। बाय द वे वीजा लगते नहीं पता चलता, एयरपोर्ट पे लैंड होकर पता चलता है। वेस्टर्न कंट्रीज में, स्पेशली अमेरिका में, आई डू नॉट नो इफ यू गाइस हैव lived in America, but the first thing you feel is the tangible liberty that you have. It's not just in the air. You can actually feel it. You can actually taste it. You're going to lose that liberty. Liberty of what? Of any choice. क्योंकि हम सब, आपको नहीं पता है था बेटा, आपकी अम्मी को और उनकी अम्मी को, आपके अब्बू को उनको अब्बू को पता, पाकिस्तान में सड़क भी क्रॉस नहीं कर सकते। पुलिस जो है ना, पुलिस सिर्फ इसलिए आपको पकड़ती है ताकि उसने प्रूव करना होता है कि वो पुलिस है। Now literally, you're a girl, you can't cross the street, all the Pakistani men are going to stare at you. And once you're going to turn the street, the next guy is like, okay, handing over to you guys. The next street is going to stare at you. Ask your mommy. पाकिस्तानी women सबसे पहला टेस्ट में पता क्या बोलती हैं इंग्लैंड आके कैसा लगा? कोई आदमी नहीं घूरता इधर। ये तंगी इस लेवल की हमने स्यापा खोल के रखा हुआ था इन औरतों के लिए। हम लोगों ने, हमसे बच के इंग्लैंड भागी हैं। Can you believe that? And we think they're going to respect us? No, they respect the white man right in front of us. कि तेरा इतना ही सलाम तुझे आया कि तूने माइक्रोस्कोप और टेलीस्कोप फिट की हुई है, सिर्फ औरतें देख रही। But that's one of the liberties that they have. So what happens is, आयजा, होता क्या है, क्योंकि हम बेस पे रॉन्ग लिबर्टी छीनते हैं, इंग्लैंड ऊपर से लिबर्टी दे रहा होता है, तो लड़की ऊपर से लिबर्टी ले लेते हैं कि सारी दे दो, वो बेस वाली भी टूटी है तो खैर है, जाने दो इसको। So we liberate ourselves from even the values of Islam as well, because the bearded man who stares at the woman represents Islamic values. Like भाई तू बता रहा, तो तेरे वाला तो सारा सिस्टम अलग, सिर्फ इसलिए कि साहिल मियां तूने इस्लाम सिखाया इसलिए नहीं इस्लाम पे आऊंगी, बिकॉज तू घूरता है हर वक्त उन जगहों के ऊपर पोक अराउंड करता है जो मेरे प्राइवेट मैटर्स थे। पाकिस्तानियों से बेहतर कौन जानता है? राजेश्वरी, आपको शायद ना पता हो, आपसे ही तो सीखे हमने, मैं तो ताना दिया था, आप क्या समझ रही हैं जी? Yeah, I know. You guys started it, we perfected it. Yeah. Well, you know what I'm doing? They poke into every single personal matter like as if it's the job. It's the job. Na'udhu billah, it's the job. It's like, नहीं जानूंगा तो फिर मैं sincere ही नहीं हूं। किससे? मोहल्ले वालों से। Every single thing has to be known by every single thing. Like every single person. इस्लाम में सबसे बड़ी गुनाह जो था प्राइवेसी ब्रीच करना, हमने सबसे बड़ा सवाब बना दिया। सवाब अजीम, प्राइवेसी ब्रीच करो। Your cell phone, if now you're of age now, okay, if your mommy says show me what's your cell phone, she's committing a sin in Islam. Did you know that? I'm sorry, Ammi, I know I ruined it for everybody, but that's Islam. Adult की प्राइवेसी ब्रीच नहीं कर सकते आप। इसलिए होगा क्या, वो ज्यादा इंग्लिश हो जाएगी और आप कम, क्योंकि इंग्लैंड वो सिक्योरिटी दे रहा है। ब्रैडफोर्ड में तो आप लोगों ने अपना गैंग बना लिया ना, बट लंदन में माँ बाप डरे होते हैं बच्चों से, पुलिस कॉल कर देगा, ही इज गोना कॉल द पुलिस। कौन? आइजस, यू स्टेयरिंग एट मी, आई डोंट लाइक इट डैडी, I have a cell phone now, I don't like what you're staring at me for. This is England calling in a Muslim out of what? Islam. Why? Because mommy and daddy were misrepresenting Islam. Misrepresenting Islam. क्योंकि टाइटल इस्लाम का लगाया हुआ था, तो वो इस्लाम से फारिग हो रहा बच्चा। Just because I wrote Islam on my forehead, my son will be like, dude, if this is Islam, I'm sorry, I'd rather choose English or the England or what's the word? Liberty. Now, this is why Allah says, coming back to this slide, two types of people. One, who want personal liberty. Number two, who want like only serving the laws of Allah. The other guy, I want to make my own laws. The second guy, I want to serve Allah's laws. This is what the two mindsets are. This is the split, it's called the vertex of thought. Human beings right now, in those realms जहाँ पे उन तक किताबें पहुँच चुकी हैं, दो तरह के इंसान हैं. मुसलमान नहीं, इंसान हैं. One who want personal liberty, making my own laws, my policies myself. That's called a liberal. I want that liberty to make my policy myself. That's called a liberal. Whenever you're going to hear the word liberal, that's what it means. Especially kids. I want the liberty to rule my own self. And the other guys, the religious conservatives, like, I do not have the power to make those policies. I'm going to let Allah, whoever made me, make those policies for myself. That's the problem, Isa. People who are calling for Allah are not attractive enough, so you're going to be like, I'd rather be the other guy. It's a pity, isn't it? That's how big of a crime it is. If you do not know Islam, you shouldn't represent it. Otherwise, you're going to repulse people out of it. If you're not practicing Islam like a Sahabi, you're going to repulse people out of Islam. इसीलिए तो पाकिस्तान में यहाँ पे भी मदरसे में नहीं डालते आप लोग. हम सब मदरसे में क्यों नहीं डालते लड़के लड़कियों? क्या आप जैसा बनना है, अगर एंड में आके आप जैसा बनना है, तो उससे बेहतर है मैं इसको हार्वर्ड भेज दूं. जैसे कुरान पूरा सीरा पूरी के बाद ये हाल होना है अगर, तो मैं हार्वर्ड ही भेज देता हूं. Just because of that guy, people are taking their kids out of Islamic systems. So, two types of people, the God servants and the self-servants. The God-centered and the self-centered. The God-oriented, self-oriented. The God-sufficient, no, self-sufficient. God-made, self-made. This is the split. Now I'm going to recite the ayah. Allahu waliyul ladhina amanu yukhrijuhum min adh-dhulumati ila an-nur wal-ladhina kafaru awliya'uhum at-taghut yukhrijunahum min an-nur ila adh-dhulumat, towards the darkness. Self-sufficient, self-regulating, and God-regulated. Self-owing, God-owing. Two people only. Now, ab aap khud sochein. I cannot decide this. I cannot read your hearts or minds. Think, go within your own self and ask yourself, okay, do I even know the laws of God so that I can qualify myself कि मैं God servant हूँ? If I knew the laws, would I actually be a God servant? Most of the people, including me, I know I won't be. You know why? Because you need to know the laws to say, नहीं sir, मुझे blue डब्बों में डालें हैं. I need to be on the blue box. और कुछ ऐसे हैं, for example, ऐसे लॉज हैं पाकिस्तान में, इंग्लैंड को छोड़ें, पाकिस्तान में ऐसे लॉज हैं जो इस्लाम के एग्जैक्ट एंटी हैं. I was just reading about this inheritance law in Pakistan कि अगर बंदे का बेटा मर जाए और पोता जिंदा हो, डायरेक्ट प्रॉपर्टी पोते को दे देते. This is exactly prohibited in Islam. Inheritance पोते तक नहीं, बेटे तक जाती है. Now, आपके दिमाग की नसें फटने वाली होंगी बात सुन के, ये क्या बात कर रहे हो? यहाँ आसान नहीं होता गॉड सर्वेंट होना, क्योंकि हम sensitized into self servant हो चुके हैं. That's why an LGBT kid is in shock कि सर क्या बात करें? I can't even choose my own partner. Yeah, you can't. Okay? You need to understand, you can only choose from a gender. You can choose your partner, but not from both the genders. But it doesn't really, it actually goes against the very what word? Personal liberty. ये choice भी ले लिया आपने मेरे से. That's a personal matter. Islam में तो privacy की बहुत respect है. ये तो personal matter है मेरा. See the arguments where they're coming from? They're coming from self-centeredness. Self-serving gyroscope चल रही है और सारे के सारे सवाल और मामलात and behaviors are being paved. आगे चलें सर, आगे चलें before I give the break. So, just anyone, मौलवी साहब ने बहुत एतराज करने आपके ऊपर, okay? Because then मौलवी साहब is like, so he oversimplified it. ही ओवर सिंप्लीफाइज एवरीथिंग। हमेशा जब अपनी मर्जी की बात होती है ये एक आयत सुना के इधर उधर हो जाता है। तागूत के और भी बड़े मतलब होते हैं ना, कोई मतलब नहीं होता। और पूछना उनसे, यू नो व्हाट, तागूत की ऊपर एक भी हदीस नहीं है। अल्लाह ताला ने इतनी क्लियरली बताया है तागूत क्या होता है कि नबी इस्लाम ने एक दफा भी तागूत पे हदीस नहीं इरशाद फरमाई कि अल्लाह ने बता दिया है। और क्या बताऊं? What is Allah Azza wa Jal saying? Have you not seen those who claim to have believed books in what has been revealed unto you and what was revealed before you? They wish to refer legislation. Legislation means the law, Isa. Legislation means legal system, the stipulations of the law, legislation. The legislation to Taghut, while they were commanded to reject it. Okay? इस आयत के बाद कोई कसर वैसे ही नहीं रहती थी कि तागूत होता ही लीगल सिस्टम है। It's that simple. अब तागूत का उलट क्या होता है? तागूत ऐसा लीगल सिस्टम जो कि अल्लाह का ना हो, तो तागूत का उलट क्या होगा? ऐसा लीगल सिस्टम जो कि अल्लाह का हो, तो उसको अल्लाह ताला क्या कहते? शरिया? नो, उसको अल्लाह ताला दीन कहते हैं। ओके? जो लीगल सिस्टम अल्लाह ने ना बनाया हो, इंसान ने बना दिया हो, खुद तागूत। जो लीगल सिस्टम अल्लाह ने खुद बनाया हो, उसको कहते हैं दीन। एक दफा भी उस दीन का मतलब, जो कि मैं अभी आपको बताऊंगा ब्रेक के बाद, कि तागूतदार और दीनदार दो तरह के लोग हैं, लिबरल्स एंड दीनी। अभी कुरान से आपको बताता हूं, फिक्र नहीं करेंगे। क्यों? मैं आपको यहां पे ये तो नहीं सिखाना है तागूत क्या होता है। आई एम हियर टू डू समथिंग एल्स। मैंने पूरा मिशन देना है आपको, काम है मुझे आपसे। आपके बच्चे लेने आया हूं मैं, अपने बच्चे देने आया हूं आपको। काम पे लगेंगे अभी, देखना भी सबके सबको टेंजिबल काम दूंगा अभी, और मैं चला जाऊंगा। उसके बाद क्या पता आप लोग काम करें, क्या पता ना करें। जो करेंगे वो आपस में कनेक्ट हो जाएंगे। यू विल सी। मैं इस वक्त आपको बता रहा हूं क्यों करेंगे वो काम, कितना जरूरी है वो काम जो मैंने आपको बताना है। How important it is for you to actually come into the game now. You cannot just be your own self or your family member anymore. You have to be the Muslim member. You need to be connected to somebody in Tunisia, somebody in Brazil, somebody in Indonesia or Australia. I'm going to give you that connection. But you got to perform in your own works. Whatever field you're going to choose, or mathematics or psychology or, philosophy or biology or whatever. Go through your trajectory. You better be the most competent person. We're going to help you with that, don't worry. But you need to be serving the whole of those Muslims who need that sort of expertise. तब कहीं जाके gyroscope ठीक होनी है, इंशाल्लाह। वरना नहीं होनी। इनकॉम्पिटेंट मुस्लिम चाहे डेफिनेशन ठीक भी आती हो, मरवा देगा। डेफिनेशन पहले ठीक करेंगे, फिर कॉम्पिटेंस बढ़ाएंगे। आई नीड यू आइजाद टू मेक मनी। इफ यू नॉट कॉम्पिटेंट, दे नॉट गोना गिव यू मनी इन योर करियर। If you're competent, we need that money. Who's going to need that money? All of these people are going to need that money. Not just the one that you're making your salary. No. We're going to be putting you into a different spin. I'll tell you, I have a case study, the finest case study, जिसमें आपको पता चलेगा इतना सेंसिबल और इतना आसान था। बस एक काम करना था कि ये घर घर खेलने की बजाय इस्लाम खेलना शुरू कर दें। Rather than Indian Rajeshwari, no, Muslim Rajeshwari. Rather than Pakistani, no, Muslim. मुझे क्या जरूरत है, मेरे पास क्या रिसोर्सेज हैं, आपके पास, आपको पहले पता होना चाहिए था। You should not call me a speaker. You should call me a walking platform. यूटिलिटी देखें मेरी। आपके बच्चों का वो वाला भला मैं कर सकता हूं, क्योंकि मेरे पास हजारों नहीं लाखों बच्चे हो रहे हैं जो कि आपके बच्चों को तकवीयत दे सकते हैं थ्रू नॉलेज, इवन मनी एंड रिसोर्स, स्कॉलर्स, टीचर्स, इवन स्टूडेंट्स इफ यू आर द टीचर। बट नहीं, हम फायदा नहीं उठा रहे दूसरे से। क्यों? मकसद अपने खेल लिया हमने। We've isolated ourselves into my wife and my kids only. That is the cancer. जब खून का एक सेल ना अपनी बॉडी के सिस्टम से अलग हो जाता है, उसको क्या कहते हैं? कैंसर वो अपना सिस्टम बनाना शुरू कर देता है. That is what cancer is. It's a new system within my own body. My own body, cells of my body are working within their own confinement, and that becomes a little lump, and that lump becomes death. That's what we are doing. अपने अपने ब्रैडफोर्ड के 35,000 घर. I'm sorry. 35,000 households, that's Bradford. If that is Bradford, then you are causing way more problem to Palestine or anybody in Pakistan than solving any problems. Okay? आगे चलें सर. अभी आता हूँ. या अभी लेता हूँ कुछ. आगे चलें एक स्लाइड और. Here you go. So as soon as you're gonna up लैंडस्केप में आपको बता दूं दुनिया का लैंडस्केप क्या है, फिर आपको ये स्लाइड समझ आएगी. जी क्वेश्चन पूछिए आप. This one.
You're assuming that everybody is living in Bradford or in Muslim world, especially in this hall.
Bradford is
going through what you are assuming, and in my, I think it's not correct. It's not right because people living here, they understand everything, and they know what's going around them, and they try their best to do, and they resolve it, and they have resolved it, and they try to resolve it as well. And sometimes there are things which is out of their control. I think there's too much negativity is going on over here. That's my understanding. Yes. Whatever I'm listening today is all going around that you
need the control.
I think we have to show some positive face as well. Everything is not going wrong here. There is something going
The only thing positive which is going on in the Muslim world is the population, which is positive. Have more babies.
That's in China as well.
No. वो तो मुसलमान तो नहीं है ना वो. मैं मुसलमानों की पॉजिटिविटी बता रहा हूँ. The more you're going to have more babies, the more probable it is for me to do good math. Otherwise, everything else is not qualified. Unless we ban our bad product, they're going to start banning our good products. That is common sense. You know that, right? So we got to call a spade a spade. जो चीज़ें मैं बताने लगा हूँ, उसके बाद negative is a very good word. You're going to be burning with anger. I'm going to provoke the hell out of you, especially girls. Because we need to tell each other how to fix some problem. But if you're not going to call it a problem, we're not going to fix it. Okay? And you are the solution. Abhi pehli ayat sunai hai, either you're a problem or you're a solution. You cannot be in the middle of anything. You're not a 50% solution or 50%. No, either you're a problem or you're a solution. And I believe you are the solution. I actually have hope that you are the solution. By the way, I'm talking to you as English Muslims. You are the solution because your kids are coming into that psychology जो कि मुझे positively चाहिए थी. So yeah, it is positive. इतनी positivity तो मैं दूंगा. That I have hope. And I have hope with the momentum that you inshallah can carry. But अभी मैं बता दूं आपको, जितने ज़्यादा आप classical definition of Islam पे रहेंगे, उतना बड़ा problem create कर देंगे. You're going to think you're a sadhu, yogi Muslim. You know, दावत भी करेंगे, तबलीग भी करेंगे, but in an overall picture, इस्लाम की पावर नहीं बढ़ा रहे होंगे. इस्लाम की पावर 4-5 पिलर्स पे बनती है. वो जब तक आपको एस्टेब्लिश नहीं करेंगे आप, तब तक वो बढ़ेगी नहीं. वो खाली प्यार मोहब्बत करने से नहीं बढ़ने वाली. दैट रिक्वायर्स कॉम्पिटेंस. मैं भी खोलता हूँ पिलर्स, फिक्र नहीं करें. वो तब बढ़ेगी जब आपकी थॉट क्लियर होगी, जब आपके कॉन्सेप्ट क्लियर होंगे, और फिर आप बच्चे उस ट्रैजेक्टरी पर डाल देंगे. आपके बच्चे अगर ताकत नहीं पकड़ रहे इंग्लैंड में, तो कहीं और के बच्चे ताकत पकड़ के आपके बच्चों को एज अ प्रॉब्लम ट्रीट करना शुरू कर देंगे. मैं फिर बता दूं, आपके बच्चे ज्यादा प्रोबेबल है ताकत पकड़ने के लिए इंशाल्लाह. और मुझे चाहिए आपके बच्चे ताकत में आए. किसको चाहिए? मुझे मेरे बच्चों को कनाडा में चाहिए, पाकिस्तान में चाहिए. आप जिस सेंटर ऑफ द स्टेज पे हैं ना, उसको रियलाइज करें. पहले तो अमेरिकन फिलोसफर्स ने भी ना अपने आप को इंग्लैंड आके वेट कराना होता है कि मैं ठीक हूं. आप लोग इतने अल्लाह के यहां तुक्के नहीं है, किसी वजह से यहां पे आपके बच्चे हुए हैं. You grow them into competence now. You grow them into perspective and more exposure. You send them to places where they will actually learn कि हम किस जगह के ऊपर आ गए थे. We cannot take it for granted. You better not take it for granted. Now, I like the fact that you're all Pakistanis and Indians and, all green flags and everything, but you better utilize and juice every ounce of whatever Victoria has done so hard. I'm talking about the Queen. She did so much ताकि इस platform की pedestal को as a power मिल सके. Now you use that power. Okay, you learn physics the way English learn physics. Okay, you learn mathematics the way the English are standardizing mathematics, not the schools. I'm talking about the scholars. Okay. अभी मैं आपको बता दूं, अगर आपने इस्लाम भी उन स्टैंडर्ड्स में ना सीखा जिसमें उमर और खत्ताब और अली बिन अबी तालिब ने सीखा था, तो फिर तो बहुत बड़ा मसला है, बहुत ही बड़ा मसला है. मैं आपको एक एग्जांपल देता हूं, उसके बाद ब्रेक करेंगे. ब्रेक करने के बाद आई एम गोना टेल यू दिस. ओके, देयर ओनली, अभी मैं आपको ग्लोबल लेवल के ऊपर लिबरल और कंजर्वेटिव की डेफिनेशन बताइए. अभी हम मुस्लिम वर्ल्ड के अंदर आ जाएंगे. मुस्लिम थॉट प्रोसेस इज way worse than the non-Muslim thought process. Non-Muslim thought process में कभी भी Bible, for example, Bible itself, खुद उन्होंने कभी भी एनर्जी की सोर्स नहीं रखी हुई थी कि पावर, बाइबल से पावर नहीं पकड़ते होते आप, तो रात से पावर पकड़ते होते आप. फर्क बता दूंगा आपको. Bible does not put you in politics. Okay, politicians can put Bible in politics, but Bible does not energize the Christian into politics. एक भी आयत ऐसी नहीं. If anything, it says stay away. If anything, it says leave unto Caesar what is for Caesar and leave unto God what is for God. Okay, which means church what is for church. कि पादरी साहब जाओ जाके पूजा पाठ करो, असली काम सीजर को दो. This is literally what they mean. Matthew 23. I just quoted you Matthew 22. Leave what is to Caesar unto Caesar and what is to the church unto the church. अब आऊंगा इसके ऊपर, but Bible does not put you in the main stage. It says पीछे पीछे रह भाई, तेरा काम नहीं है. ना पावर पकड़, ना पैसे पकड़, पीछे पीछे रह. कुरान तो कह रहा है वअइद्दु लहुम मस्ततातुम मिन कुव्वा, कि भाई अगर तूने पावर ना पकड़ी तो तू तो कैंसर है. उमर और खत्ताब कह रहे हैं अल्लाह मुझे ज़ईफ मोमिन के शर से बचाएं. ये ना कोई लागर सा मोमिन आ जाए, ना कोई ताकत हो ना कोई ईमान हो, इसका तो बोझ उठाना पड़ेगा हमें. Which book is common, closer to common sense? गैरा. आपकी गैरत और मेरी गैरत के करीब तो यही बात है कि भाई मैं खुद अपना बोझ उठाया करूं, मैं ताकत में आया करूं, और मैं लोगों को देने वाला हूं रादर देन लेने वाला, लोगों की ताकत बढ़ाने वाला हूं, मेरी वजह से लोगों को ताकत आए. That is true definitions of गैरत. That's why लियुज़हिरहु अला दीन कुल्ली का क्लेम कुरान पाक करता है कि अगर तुम ताकत में आ गए तो ये पूरे के पूरे सिस्टम्स के ऊपर एनफोर्स करने वाली किताब है. और तुम देखोगे एक दिन होगा, लियुज़हिरहु का मतलब होगा नजर आएगा, इजहार हो जाएगा इंशाअल्लाह. लियुज़हिरहु अला दीन कुल्ली, तमाम सिस्टम्स. दीन का मतलब क्या है? लीगल सिस्टम्स. तागूत का मतलब क्या है? लीगल सिस्टम. लियुज़हिरहु अला दीन कुल्ली मतलब कि भाई ये सब के ऊपर प्रिवेल कर जाएगा. यू नीड टू एनफोर्स एंड अगर तुमने ना किया, सूरह मोहम्मद में कहा है अल्लाह ताला ने कि अगर मुसलमानों तुमने ना किया ये काम तो तुमसे बेहतर कौम को मैं तुम्हारे से रिप्लेस करके करा लूंगा. मेरे पास कौमों की थोड़ नहीं है, मैं अल्लाह, मैं कायनात का रब हूं. तुम मेरे कोई नेपोटिज्म में मेरे कोई रिश्तेदार नहीं लगते हो. You're not my favorites. ये गलती यहूदियों ने की थी. खुद हमें अल्लाह ने बताया कि मुफ्त में अपने आप को चहीता बना के बैठे हुए हो. चहीता वो है जो इस्लाम में है. ना अल्लाह नबियों की मदद करते हैं आयजा, ना नबियों की मदद होती है, ना सहाबा की मदद होती है. अल्लाह सिर्फ इस्लाम की मदद करते हैं. नबी इस्लाम के सेंटर में होता है, मदद आ रही होती है. सहाबी इस्लाम के पास आता है, नबी के पास आता है, मदद आ रही होती है. अल्लाह का कोई फेवरेट नहीं है कि अच्छा ये साहिल अदीम को अल्लाह ने स्पेशल एक मनो सलवा उतार के देना है. नो, मदद इज ओनली फॉर इस्लाम. ओके, you come into Islam, you're going to see what's going to happen. فَوْقِهِمْ وَتَحْتِهِمْ, Allah says, you're going to see skies opening up. Miracles are going to start to happen for you. ज़मीन ऐसे उगलना शुरू कर देगी आपके लिए, resources आसमान से बरसेंगी. I promise you that. Allah ने कहा, I promise you that. But तू इस system को नाफिज कर पहले. Dominate. अभी भी आयजा, you're going to hear this word dominate. You know how? You're going to hear it from the English. You're going to hear it from the Americans. Dominate. I'm going to empower my own people to dominate, and they are dominating. I mean, there's no doubt. World War II के बाद से dominate ही कर रहे हो. उन्होंने छोड़ा नहीं pedestal. हमने grab ही नहीं किया. हम तो बल्कि we are so settled कि खैर है बादशाह सलामती है ना. I'm going to be a good servant. That's not why a Muslim comes to this planet. We're not here to serve anyone but Allah Azza wa Jal. We're going to connect with each other. We are going to redefine our purposes, and we are going to make sure that wherever you are, you become a brick in the big wall of Islam. पाकिस्तान नहीं भेज रहा हूँ आपको, फिक्र नहीं करें. अगर आप पाकिस्तान चले गए तो गया काम ही खत्म हो गया मेरा. यहाँ पे पावर पकड़नी है आपने, अपनी कॉम्पिटेंस में. आप लोगों के नाम कैम्ब्रिज की दीवारों पे लिखे होने चाहिए, आपके बच्चों के. बताऊं किसके लिखे हुए? 4 बंदे लगे थे टोटल अक्टूबर 7 के बाद. कैमरा किधर है? 4 people. It took only 4 human beings after October 7th, Isa. To do what? 4 human beings. 1 from England, 3 from America. Actually, 1 from France. वो खैर अमेरिका में था उस वक्त. 1 from England, 1 from France, 2 from America. What did they do? $100 billion इसराइल को पहुंचाने के लिए. It took them 7 days for 4 people. That's how power is done. Because they were at the right place with the right competence and the right credibility. Reputation बना के पहुंचे हुए थे. कोई जादू मंत्र नहीं कर रहे थे. आयजा सीरियसली हमारे पाकिस्तान में पता क्या होता है? किसी को काबू करना हो पीर साहब को बुलाओ. By the way, I just saw a video from you guys in England. सारे इंग्लैंड ऐसे करके खड़ा हुआ और पीर साहब माइक पे शुफ शुफ कर रहे. ये आप लोग थे ना? ये अमेरिका था वो. इंग्लैंड था, अमेरिका था वो. आता हूं, इसके बाद ब्रेक ही देनी पड़ेगी. अब माइक पे आ गए ना मैं. ये देखिए वो भी माइक पे था. यू गाइस थिंक कि ये आयजा इस्लाम में आएगी इसके बाद? आप लोग खुद आपके बुजुर्गान मैंने अल्लाह की कसम देखी हैं. कौन सा शहर था वो बता दें बस. आई एम गोइंग देयर. विच बड़ा शहर जिले का नाम बताएं ना. मैनचेस्टर. बेटा देखो मैनचेस्टर तो मैं आ रहा हूं. एक वो तरीका पावर लेने का, वो पावर ले रहे हैं पता है. और दूसरा तरीका क्या है? कैम्ब्रिज के अंदर पीएचडी करके फॉरेन पॉलिसी अमेंड करवा रहे हैं. 4 बंदे $100 बिलियन अप्रूव करवा रहे हैं. इन लेस देन 7 days दे गॉट द डील. कंसेंसस यूनानिमस डिसीजन इन कैबिनेट अमेरिका की. ये होती है फिजिक्स पढ़ने की ताकत, पॉलिटिकल साइंस पढ़ने की ताकत, प्रोफेसर बनने की वजह. पर्पस ऑफ मुज़दलिफा पर्पस ये होती है. दिस इज हाउ यू चेंज द प्लैनेट. बाय द वे एक साइकोलॉजिस्ट है उसमें. That's how game is played by competence. पाकिस्तान के सारे कर्जे माफ, पाकिस्तान की सारी पावर हमारे पास आ जाए. अगर इंग्लैंड के बच्चे खास जगहों में पावर में आ जाए तो उसके बाद इंडियन मुस्लिम्स, उसके बाद युगर मुस्लिम्स, उसके बाद कश्मीर, ये सब मसले यहां से हल होने. मगर नहीं, हम अब अपनी बस बेटी की शादी हो जाए बस. That's all my job is. ये इस्लाम है मेरा. वाइद्दु लहुम मस्ततातुम मिन कुव्वा का मतलब यहूदियों को समझ आ गया है, हमें नहीं समझ आ रहा. 15 मिनट के बाद मिलते हैं. कितनी देर? 20 मिनट. काम किया है ब्रेक में? चाय पीनी? ओके. अगर 15 मिनट देते. मुझे नहीं पीनी चाय. और सर मेरी तो हफ्ते की चाय आपने पिला दी मुझे. यू बिन द वे आई बिन होस्टेड इन माशाल्लाह. अब मुझे मैं हफ्ता और खाना नहीं खा रहा. माशाल्लाह. व्हाट आई नीड इज एग्जैक्ट टाइम. अभी टाइम अच्छा वो टाइम लगा 12 व्हाट इज दिस 8:56. ये असली टाइम है? ब्रैडफोर्ड टाइम है. सो लेट्स मीट एट 9:15 है. ओके 9:15 तक. आई डोंट नो इफ दे वांट द, यू गाइस वांट द ब्रेक? जरूरी है, टेक्निक है. क्या करना है? चैरिटी का भी थोड़ा. अच्छा चाय की ब्रेक. ओह टी ब्रेक. 9:15 प्लीज. 9:15. वहां तक किसी का क्वेश्चन है जिसने ब्रेक पे नहीं जाना वो क्वेश्चन मुझसे पूछ ले. Can you turn this on? Can you hear me? Yes. Let's jump back in from where we left off. It's going to be a little tough from here on. Okay, let's just draw the landscape, okay? About for 3,000-4,000 years. Sure.
Okay. आपने पहले कहा कि वो जिस तरह 4 बंदे हैं वो 7 मिलियन ये जितने भी
100 billion, sir.
जी बिल्कुल जितने भी आपने कह दिए सर उसके
मैंने नहीं कहा, अमेरिका ने कहा.
जी जी बिल्कुल उसके पीछे अगर आप देखें तो यहूदियों की तकरीबन 150-200 साल की जो है ना
80 साल.
जी बिल्कुल उन्होंने स्टार्ट
अभी बताता हूँ.
उन्होंने स्टार्ट लिया हुआ है वो अब यहाँ तक पहुँचे हुए हैं अब मतलब हम जो भी कर रहे हैं हम अभी तक जो भी कर रहे हैं वो यही कर रहे हैं कि मतलब मुझे इनसे कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं है अल्लाह हाफिज़
किन से?
ये जो पैसे इकट्ठे कर रहे हैं ये जो भी इस हम जब भी
यहूदियों से?
नहीं ये मतलब हेल्प करने के लिए हम जब भी किसी की हेल्प करना चाहते हैं ये जो आप
ओके.
हम जब भी किसी की हेल्प करना चाहते हैं गजा की या किसी की भी तो हम पैसे इकट्ठे करना शुरू कर देते हैं हम जितने भी पैसे इकट्ठे कर लें अगर कल किसी ने किसी भी मुसलमान मुल्क पे बम मारना है ना तो ये पैसे उसे रोक नहीं सकते हम एम्बुलेंस लेकर पहुंच जाएंगे ये
बताता हूँ कैसे रोकना बताता हूँ.
कोई प्लेटफॉर्म नहीं आज तक
आ रहा. That's why I'm here. Good question. See, the problem is very simple. For many thousands of years, Adam alayhi salam started the game of knowledge, and then we all played it in one way, very simple way, books. That was the only way to understand knowledge. You guys, thank you, Rahil. Thanks for the iron brew, eh? Can I come out of Scotland? Now, you need to understand the landscape. I'm going to be a little brutal now, okay? You can turn the cameras off. I really need to tell you a lot of things which are going to rile you up a little bit, and I need to do that. I'm sorry. I'm not here to polish your egos. I'm not here to paint a false picture. I know what self-esteem is. We need to admit that the stick is broken. Unless we admit it, we're not going to be able to fix it. Now, there are two kinds of problems. First and foremost, your kids are on YouTube. Your kids are on Instagram and social media, and the kind of content that they're consuming right now, Imam Ghazali could not, even if he had 3 lifetimes worth of, effort, he could not consume that sort of content. And you're against YouTube. You're pumping books in front of and making sure they go to school and libraries. They're not going to go get real knowledge there. Even though it is there, they're not going to do it. Because most of their 24 hours, their productive cycles are being spent on their cell phones. Now, is it all bad? Well, it is bad. This is not the ideal way. But understand the science. After the 14th, 15th, 16th year, especially the kids who are in 20s, now I don't want to call them kids, people, boys and girls who are in their 20s, they're using more senses to understand knowledge than scholars did in the old times. Well, not old, 50 years ago. So, you need to understand how knowledge works. Unless we raise the IQ of a Muslim child by 20 points, 20, more the better, but 20 is the barrier of entry. Barrier of entry means unless we hit that mark, we're not going to start the machine which is going to work. How do you raise an IQ of a nation by 20 points? Well, this formula is simple. You need to raise the standards of knowledge and the sets of knowledge and the variety of fields and funnels through which knowledge is gained. Simple. Now, YouTube is servicing most of it. Not all of it, but most of it. So I'm not telling you to push your kids towards social media and YouTube. What I'm saying is they're already there. Harness it. Harness it. There are 2 big fights going on between the local masjid here in England and England. England is fighting with the thought process of the masjid, with the imam and the parent of the household. Understand that fight. What is that fight? Can anyone tell me what is the big fight? Yes. Oh, really? Oh, I thought, no. Yeah. Come here. I can't hear you. Come here. Come. No, let him come to me. Come to me. Sit down. What's your name? Just face the crowd. That's all right. How do you spell that name?
Sahram.
R-A. What's the last alphabet?
M.
What? M. Okay, M. Sharm. Okay, Sharm, how old are you? 9. At 9, you came so close to the answer. It's very impressive, man. So, what England believes versus what the masjid believes?
England believes that, like, Jesus and Antichrist, they made everything, but the masjid, they believe that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made everything. They made oars, they even made the building of the masjid possible.
Who's they? Who made the masjid?
Allah.
Yeah, it is possible. It is possible. Sharm at 9. Now, so he recognizes at 9 that there is a big difference between whatever the flavor of masjid is versus the flavor of England. It's simple. Ironically, a Muslim child believes the same sort of differential in Pakistan, what the masjid wants to stand for versus what Pakistan stands for. That's the power of the political system. Everybody can feel it, we just don't know how to translate it. He's not old enough to translate it. Otherwise, he's feeling it. He's feeling it in the frown of the imam. He's feeling it in the certain choice of words which are subliminal, sometimes very explicit. Well, you won't find too much of explicit rhetoric in the imam because he knows he needs to be in England. But the difference is there. The problem is there. A masla hai, you know what the bigger problem is? Sometimes England is right and the masjid is wrong. And your kids are going to prove it to you and you won't be able to come out of that argument. That is a problem I've seen in Pakistan as well. Sometimes America is right and the masjid in New York is wrong. And your kids are going to argue for America and they'll be right. Because the current definition of Islam, Umar ibn Khattab doesn't qualify on that definition. And America does. England does. Now that is a problem. I know what you're thinking right now. How dare you? Ye kya bol diya isne? See, we have suppressed the Muslim mind so much against the liberals and liberty that we've taken away the liberty of Islam as well. And that buffer, liberty, that England gives that liberty in that buffer, everybody gets confused. That's the problem I'm trying to solve. And if you don't solve that problem, this boy is inevitably have to say to himself alone in his own bedroom, because he's not going to be able to confess to you that I have to leave Islam to progress in this planet. This is what the dissonance is going through. This is why you see atheistic kids in Islamic households. Stage 1, they're going to go quiet. I need that slide shifter, please. Can you go to the next slide? And the next? And the next? I'm going to come back to these. I just want to understand, make you guys understand what's going on. And the next, please. I really need the slide shifter. And the next. And go on, please. Next. And next. Yeah, here you go. Thank you. This is what the current definition of Islam is. Okay? We all know that. Now, your kids are going through YouTube. Aap is jagah pe na hote. You guys wouldn't have been here if you were not into the kind of scholars who are in YouTube or in your books. Otherwise, there's so many things going on in Bradford right now. Bradford, this session is only for those people who knows Mufti Menk, who know, Yasir Qadi, who knows Yasmin, what's her full name? They know the full name. You know the scholar, you know Dr. Israr, Farhat Hashmi, yes. Muhammad who? Yeah, I wouldn't know him, but yeah, I see, he does. So these people are giving you knowledge sets about Islam. Okay? And then England is giving knowledge sets about liberty. You need to understand that. But routines and rituals, that's what we're getting from Muslim scholarship right now. Routines and rituals. Give me one ritual in Islam. Salah is a ritual, okay? Routine, azkar, these are routines. Then individual focus, which means tazkiyah. Cleanse yourself, understand where is wrong, what is wrong within yourself. This is individual focus. ये जो आपने सवाल किया था ना, वो 4 बंदों ने $100 बिलियन कहाँ से निकाले? वो 4 बंदों को आपस में एक दूसरे का नहीं पता. उनको बस $100 बिलियन का पता है और इसराइल पता है. काफी है. You understand me? That's how they align themselves. And I'll tell you, what is the legislator for them later. Personal belief. All of your scholars are going to give you personal belief. Awesome. They do a good job, by the way. I'm not speaking against them. They're doing an awesome job. What Farhat Hashmi has done for Muslim women, I do not see any other name in the whole of our planet Earth right now. You need to understand, somebody stepped up. She did what she could do. But what is she doing? What are all of these people doing? They're reinforcing these 3 pillars. Very, very good job. Amazing job done. So, this boy is going to learn personal belief, aqidah. He's going to understand salah. He's going to understand zakat. He's going to understand, dawat, tabligh. What else? Fasting and du'as. Awesome, man. Awesome. Good job, man. What else?
That is like all the hadiths.
Yeah. So, where is the cutover? The cutover is very simple. The Sahabis, which Sahaba you know. Whoever you know, the Sahabas that you know, they were thought leaders of the planet at that time. That you know of. I mean, I know of some Sahabis who did not go into that realm, but that you know of, I know, they're only there in those books that you are reading because they were leading the thought. That's why you know them. The philosophy of Ali bin Abi Talib is still currently being taught in England in non-Muslim realms, non-Muslim universities and schools. And Ghazali. You can do a PhD on Ghazali in England. Because this guy was leading the thought. Now, whatever name that you're pumping on YouTube, they're not generating thought. You know what they're doing? They're reproducing the thought. Why? Because that is part of Islam. That is truly a part of Islam. Then, global change. Tell me one Muslim scholar even uses the word, let alone constructs the model around it. Or, you know what? Chode Muslim scholars go. Tell me, what part of Islam or Seerah, what article of Islam is about global change? You know why Muslims don't know about this? Because they think it's nothing to do with Islam. Then, public policy. All the kids in this room and the kids that they'll have will be influenced directly, accumulatively, 1,000,000 times more than any Muslim scholar that they'll ever get to see on YouTube. Is going to be from the public policy realm. They're influencing directly your kids, my kids. That's why they're in public policy making. Whatever you're going through right now in Bradford, during your daily routines, professional routines, legal routines, are set by public policy makers. Simple. What are these? This is a course on this? Is there a degree? No. They're into politics. They're into influencing, they're into credibility, the game of credibility. They start writing articles when they were 14. in local newspapers, and then they go into the Time magazines, and then they go into writing policies of the United Nations. That's the trajectory. It's that simple. What has Islam got to do with this? No, in my mind, in your minds, Islam has nothing to do with it. You want me to name you Sahabas who wrote the public policy? That's the problem. We do not know our own Sahabas for their public policy making. Then, political reforms. Instead of treating the masjid as a small little parliament house of the neighborhood, we thought masjid was only for that 20-minute Jummah sermon, where the best that masjid is going to do is collect some money for the neighborhood. And that is, by the way, politics, collecting money to do something. But that's it. And who do your kids know in England? Who is calling the literal shots on whether halal food is going to be banned or not? What is HMC versus? What is the other thing? HFC. Yeah. What is this? This is political reforms. You know, in Denmark, you cannot eat halal food. You know that, right? You have to smuggle it. Did you know that? In Australia, you cannot eat any kind of HMC because every live animal has to get electrically stunned or electrocuted before it goes to any slaughterhouse. The animal is dead before the slaughter. Who wrote that policy? Somebody. You know, the Australian government didn't. Somebody in the government did. डेनमार्क में हलाल फूड बैन पता कब हुआ था? क्यों हुआ था? एक पाकिस्तानी ने गाय ज़बह करने की वीडियो रिलीज कर दी. If you had seen the video, आप भी हलाल फूड बैन कर देते. That incompetent person did not know how to slaughter a cow. It took 20 minutes for him to slaughter that poor cow, and it was all over the place. Somebody in the public policy started, creating that little rhetoric, and, the government just banned it. That's how change is done. They're doing it really well. We are not training our kids for this. We are training our kids because हर low self-esteem के बंदे का, जान के उर्दू में आ गया हूँ मैं इधर. Every person with not enough of a less self-esteem developed creates an archetype of what? Who he wants to be. And none of you guys, none of us wanted to be better than King Charles. We always had that white guy who had a good job, or that white girl who had a good-looking body. Fitness, looks, or a guy with more cars, or that car, or that Lamborghini, or that whatever. We never even aspired to be the right white guy. That's the problem. Even if you wanted to be the white guy, I get it, because that's how self-esteem works. You could have chosen, Prince Harry or Williams. No, but that's her name, right? Harry and Williams? Yeah. No. We don't play that game. We play the game of, our neighborhood, or the first guy who we ever met while we were in England. We were like, yeah, you know what, this guy. Or some boss in some company. That's why I said gyroscope ठीक करें. So this is what the religious mindset is being trained on. So your kid will be like, your child, literally your son or daughter will be like, ये वाला इस्लाम तो मैं किताब से भी ले लूँगा, इसके लिए मस्जिद की क्या ज़रूरत है? जो वो वाला इस्लाम है, वो तो गोरा दे रहा है मुझे. मुझे तो वो चाहिए, मेरी regular identity का तकाज़ा है. You know what? If we talk about Palestine and you cry, mommy, you cry in the bed, तहज्जुद में जान नमाज़ें गीली कर रही होती हैं, आप फ़लस्तीन के लिए रो के, वो तो ऊपर से पूरी नहीं होती. Tell me, ऊपर से कौन सा फ़लस्तीन आज़ाद हो रहा है? Routines, rituals, अपना खोलना, तज़किया नफ्स करने से तो फ़लस्तीनियों को कुछ नहीं होना. If you want to do something about Palestine, you got to do the bottom half. That's what everybody is doing for Israel in Canada, America, England, again England. They're doing that, and they're working for Israel. And they're doing a good job. By the way, Jewish competence on the industry is 10 times more than anybody else. Call a spade a spade. उनकी performance वाकई बेहतर है. उनके प्रोडक्ट निकलते हैं, मैं और आप दिल से खरीदते हैं, परफॉर्मेंस होती है उस प्रोडक्ट की. मुस्लिम whenever they produce any product, जो भी प्रोडक्ट बना ले मुसलमान, वो प्रोडक्ट ही फॉल्टी होता है. मुसलमान खुद ही नहीं खरीदते. हमारे तो वो जो बच्चों के कार्टून नहीं होते वो भी फीके कलर्स के होते हैं, वो भी वीडियो रुक रही होती है उसमें. We go into cloth making, we ruin it. We go into shoe making, we ruin it. We go into car making. Well, we never went into car making. God forbid. You are never going to buy a washing machine which it says an eye to sand. You're going to buy Philips. So they're doing it right. Don't say, oh, you know what, Yahudi sazish hai. Yahudi sazish nahi, Yahudi competence hai. Yahudi mindset. We had that. They learned it from us. I swear to God, she told us. She wrote it. You know who? The Prime Minister. Their Prime Minister. She's like, we're just doing whatever your prophet was doing. So I'm just telling you, the current definition of Islam that we get, that has divorced. Can you come back, please? That has come back. That has divorced from the real things. Can you go back in the slides? Okay, you know what? Just stay there. Let me just finish this up. Just look at the left side of the slide. Just one slide. Can you go to the next slide? Just one more click. No, not the next. Really, my voice is not. Okay, listen. Go next. No, don't go back. One more. That's it. Look at the left. This is our English children's behavior right now. Procrastinating kids, lying around bums, doing nothing, especially 15, 18, 19-year-olds. Hell, I've been getting complaints from fathers of the households, never coming out of couches and beds. Mommy's waking up at 2 in the morning. 2 in the afternoon. Do you see those kind of signs going on in our households? Confused values. Child is actually, understanding value system more in outside Islamic realms than the masjid. By the way, this is not an adult Muslim when it comes to Pakistan, from Pakistan or India to England. He practices way more values of Islam in England than in Pakistan or India. He goes to the elevator, he stops the elevator for everybody to come in. He helps whenever he sees somebody who needs help. He runs towards them. In Pakistan or India, that same guy is not going to do that. That's called the herd effect, the herd psychology. So what happens is, he goes into extreme behaviors inside his own household. Your children are going to do that. Totally do different extreme behaviors. Spurs and jitters behaviors. Every, novice psychologist is going to tell you that. You know what? There's a dissonance between the way you're setting your values and the way he's actually getting the values. He actually is disqualifying you as a father, you as a mother, she or he, your child is disqualifying you as a person of values. He's getting better values from somewhere else. And we call it, bacha teenager hai, hormonal pressures hai uske upar, he's so grumpy and, No, he's not. He just knows you're a hypocrite. He just thinks, you just, all talk, no action. And he's looking at all the action going on. This is classic cognitive dissonance. Inconsistent morality. This is something which every Muslim is practicing in overseas. In Muslim-dominated lands, there is no morality. Here, you are way more moral. Actually, you are the only moral Muslims which are in America, England, or wherever. Scandinavia, especially Scandinavian Muslims. Awesome examples, especially Norwegians. Amazing. How did you get to be there? Well, you pick and choose. That's the problem. But you got to some level. But you are picking and choosing morality. Why? Because look at the right side. Islam is not even giving you those windows where you're going to actually apply those moral standards. Because those moral standards are on the group. The current definition of Islam is for the man or the woman, individual. Now, sir, can you go back on I'll tell you when to stop. Just keep going. Go. I'll tell you when to stop. You know, this picture is bothering me. This is not supposed to be a square in the middle. Go on, go on. Go on. One more. One more. Yes, there you go. But that's it. That's it. Thank you. Thank you. Now you can see this is where the landscape is. Every Muslim scholar that you're going to listen to, every non-Muslim scholar, which of course is going to be the subject expert of whatever subject they're listening to, could be anybody from Noam Chomsky to, you know, Finkelstein to, you know, whatever the affairs are going on right now. Kids go through that YouTube pump. YouTube presents those videos based on the kind of videos that your child or you yourself have already subscribed to. And then you see two different kinds of knowledge sets coming in. This is how the Muslim mindset actually splits into three different types. One is classic liberal Muslim. He knows that, you know what, I was not even pushed towards Islam. I mean, they gave me the kalima, they gave me the, you know, general concept of Islam, and they were very emotional about it. My Pakistani parents are very emotional, and they're going to kill, you know, for Islam. But they're not going to let me practice, make me. फजर पे उठाते हुए एक खातून को केस स्टडी के अंदर, मतलब मेरे पास एक हस्बैंड आए हुए हैं, अपनी बेगम की कहानी सुना रहे हैं. इमेजिन कि मैंने अपने बच्चे को फजर के लिए उठाया तो मेरी बेगम ने डिवोर्स मांग ली कि तू जालिम आदमी, सोते हुए बच्चे पे तुझे रहम नहीं आया. She was so into my child. Oh, बेचारा सो रहा है मेरा बच्चा. What kind of lack of empathy this man has. You know, and I said, what, did you slap him to wake up? And I said, no, I was just shaking him up. It's like just, you know. So I know there are some sort of, you know, household, but I'm not talking about those kind of people don't make it to these kind of sessions. You guys have to understand the mindset of those, you know, people who want to believe that they're Muslims, but they're so on the edge of the realm that they just think that this is extreme and radical behavior to talk about Islam as a global catalyst. It's radical. You're an Islamist. You're just not using the word jihad. Otherwise, you're doing everything. You want to put power into Islam and, you know, connect everybody and create a platform, and you want to make global change. No, I just want a Ferrari and a big house in some you know, northern valley of France. That's it. That's all a man should do. And or whatever, you know, you want to get as basic necessities or luxury. That's your classic mindset. They actually centralize themselves as people who want to make a policy based on human rights, people who think they can get knowledge from whoever and wherever, and they mix and match all the knowledge sets and they create their own versions. Good enough? The best part is they're not in majority. And then there's the other extreme. The classic Musliman, you know, you're going to see them in clusters in England as well. You're going to see them in clusters in Pakistan. They're not in majority as well. Clusters. You can see them in Tablighi Jamaat. You can see them in, you know, what else do we got there? Farhat Hashmi groups, you know, because that's not Tablighi Jamaat. The women, they're conservative Muslims. They love Islam. They want to practice whatever they can of Islam. They never miss a namaz. They never miss a roza. I mean, there's no way they're going to miss a Rosa. They are, you know, trying to look for opportunities to pay for Palestine or whatever they can. They are your classic, you know, go-getters. They're doers. They want to do whatever they can. They're your classic conservatives. They are hijabis. They're, you know, long-bearded. They're doing whatever they can. This is your two extremes. I hope you can see them in England, and you can see them right now in your minds. And then there's this new age Muslim who has been bred in overseas Western civilization. He understands the global change. He understands the politics. He understands the catalyst as well. But he's not convinced. He is just not convinced because he's not getting the answers from his folks. He's in half and half. He knows that, you know, Islam has a structure of, you know, whatever these 5 pillars, and they actually are a 5-pillar, really, they're really good in 5 pillars. They understand it, but they miss out on their prayers. He knows what he should do, he's just not doing it really well. And, you know, he got good enough a company, he's going to practice Islam. If he doesn't, he's going to be the way, you know, the group is, whatever his friends is or colleagues are. He's not going to be killing for halal food. He'll be like, okay, it's all right, man. Majboori thi. Dil mein Islam hona chahiye. ओके मैंने साल में एक दफ़ा ही हराम खाया है, कोई बात नहीं, जान पे नौबत आए तो सूअर भी खाना अलावा है तो खैर है, मैं तो स्कॉटलैंड आया हूँ. He comes out with these sort of gimmickry. But when you put him into a Muslim household or Muslim group, he's not going to have any problem practicing Islam. He'll be like, okay, yeah, good enough. I'm going to be here, there as well. That's your half and half. The problem is all of these three are nobodies. Nobodies. You know what? They have divorced the power, whatever they can get or whatever Islam has to offer, they've divorced it. They can be in power, especially this lot. This lot can be in power, but they'll never think it's an Islamic power or Islam has anything to do with it. You're going to see these people in politics as well, sometimes even premiers. In some countries, very close. Some people even came from that country here. You're going to see them in the parliaments of England as well. You're going to see a lot of these people, but they'll be like, you know what, that's a job. ये मेरी नौकरी है. मैं नमाजें पढ़ रहा हूँ काफी, यहाँ पे आके मैं इस्लाम नहीं practice करूँगा. I'm going to practice Islam in the masjid. I'm going to just practice England or Scotland or wherever I am, or in America, Toronto ka mayor, well, not Toronto, could be mayor of Toronto, but he's going to be a very English law, Canadian law, American law, Australian law abiding citizen, awesome job, and he's going to be enforcing a lot of public policy based on that law. That's why Muslims riled against Hamza Yusuf in Scotland, that, you know what, all hunky-dory, buddy, but you went for the LGBT? Why? Who's from Scotland here? That's the one sentiment everyone's facing against Hamza, eh? But he doesn't know any better. This is the problem. He was taught Islam by that lot over YouTube or a book.
Don't you think if you live in a democratic country, he will be deciding with the people's majority vote, not himself. And being himself, if he's the Prime Minister of Scotland, he has very limited power.
That's what I'm saying. He believes he's got limited power as a Muslim. He believes that.
He's not a Muslim, he's a Scottish Prime Minister.
Those two can be together at the same time. A Muslim can be a Scotland's premier, eh? Or American Barack Obama. He is a Muslim and the American president at the same time. अफ्तारी भी कराता है मुसलमानों को. No. See, that was not something to do with Islam when it came down to Obama. That has nothing to do with Islam. That has everything to do with America. And in his books, I'm telling you this, Islam is an Islamish or Islamically correct thing to do, to follow the Constitution of America, even if it has to come at a price of 1 million Iraqis, kids. That's why Allah says, you know what? You have to choose. You cannot be both at the same time. Now, can you understand this word secularism there? That's the problem. These 3 babies are given birth by single mother. That mother does not exist in Islam. We put it there ourselves. This mommy exists in the Bible, not the Quran. This word secularism, what is secularism? Anyone can define what secularism is? Yes, sir. When the state decides what religion is. No. Well, the state usually decides there should be no religion. Aiza? Yeah. Atheist. No. Atheist is atheist. Atheist is a matter of belief in the deity or not. He doesn't believe in theism, which means no God. That's atheism. We are theists. Okay? That dude would be atheist. Okay? Like political, apolitical, biogenesis, abiogenesis, theism, atheism. Yes. Who's really neutral about religion? They don't have any idea what religion is? Okay. No. Good. अच्छा हो गया ना बात होगी. It's a good thing. I thought you would know. I'm going to have to listen to the Scots. Because they told me that, go a little in detail. Yes, sir. No. No, बाकी सब लोगों को accept नहीं करेगा. Yes. No, but state could have a religion in secularism as well. Secular states do have religion. Okay, I'll tell you what. Oh. Okay, secularism is a standard of political structure where the state will not interfere, okay, as a religious police. Okay, so the matters of the state will have nothing to do with the religious doctrine, and the matter of the religious doctrine will not be dictated by the state. So masjid or the church will act independently as moral, divine custodians of the books, whatever the book is, and state will divorce all or will devour of the religious or divine literature. So what is to state unto the state, and what is to the church unto the church. Where did I quote you this ayah from? The Bible. Who quoted it? Matthew. Who's Matthew? Who's Matthew? Come on, England. England. Matthew was the disciple of Isa ibn Maryam, supposedly, who was actually the tax collector of his time. The only time Isa ibn Maryam talks about money in the Bible is through the words of Matthew. Only one time, and that's Matthew 22. Otherwise, Isa ibn Maryam never, ever said that. So, when the Bible came up with this verse, it was used really well. I'm not going to go into that detail. That is secularism. Leave what is to the state unto the state. Leave what is to Nawaz Sharif, Imran Khan. Leave what is to Barack Obama or Donald Trump unto, them. And what is to the church unto the church. So they're not going to interfere in religious matters, and religion is not going to interfere with the state matters. That's seclusion of these two entities. You know what seclusion is, right? Seclusion means separation, in isolation. So religion is going to run in isolation, and state is going to run in isolation of the religion. So secular is when you believe that state can or cannot make any policy which is religious or not religious. That's secularism. Why am I talking about this here? Because it takes a really deep level, liberal mindset, even if it's a Muslim mindset, to believe in secularism and Islam at the same time. And hence, you can see all the Muslims alive right now, all of them, okay, which you know of, who are in public policy making or speaking or influencing, they're all classic seculars. That's why, can you go back to that slide? Yeah, this one. This slide is secularism. You have taken away the power from the man. This is the power. This is all state affairs now, and that's religious affairs. That's your classic Muslim. So when you ask, and I'm going to edit that in the video, it's a close thing, don't worry. When you ask Mufti Menk, why was he sitting with the Israeli in the Gulf, in that, whatever dinner that they had hosted, he said, listen to me, do not involve me in politics. Politics is not my business. I'm a Muslim cleric. That's the exact words. When somebody asked Yasser Qazi and, all of those people, why did they go into the LGBT parade? What's his name? No, Numan Khan. Omar Salman, yeah. So he said, well, listen, political matters are to be dealt by the state. We are Muslim clergy. We are supposed to give the dawah of love and inclusion, forgiveness. You get that? I'm not worried about what they're doing. They can do whatever they want. I'm worried about how they're justifying it. Because they are actually believers of the fact that they are two different powers. One is the one who's going to run the state. One is the one who's going to run the man. And that's what All Christian seculars believe. You ask any Christian, philosopher, theologian, evangelical or, non-religious, atheistic flavored Christian. You ask them, what is the best thing about Christianity? Well, leave it is to Caesar unto Caesar, and what is the church unto the church. They give the liberty to the state to be whatever they can, to do whatever they can. So how does the state decide what is right and wrong? How does the state decide whether to bomb Palestine or not? I'll tell you, in Islam, yes, that's the golden question. Okay, I need the control in my hand then. The divide happened. Go. I'll tell you when to stop. Go on. Keep going.
I think
The slide.
that particular point, the Allama Iqbal said, "Juda ho deen siyasat se to reh jati hai changeziyan."
Yeah.
He said the structure and the criteria for Islamic State and for Muslim as well. And this is what everybody is missing. They are separating the state affairs from the religious affairs, and that is.
No, sir. No, this is not. नहीं मैं आपको नहीं कह रहा हूँ. आपका सवाल मेरे तक पहुँच चुका है. Sir, I'm sorry. What's your name? I need a lot more. You and I cannot play this because I keep shifting through slides to make a point, and it's not your fault, of course. You don't know what slide I want. Listen, forget the slides. Yeah, forget the slides. Let me just. No. I'll just have to tune myself out of this slide deck. The number one question is, why is all of Muslim scholarship right now practicing a secular Islam? That's it. Now, the first thing is condition is whether they are secular. Yes, of course. You will never see a Muslim state right now where Muslim scholars are running the shots on the state. Name one. There's none. There's none.
Sure.
Which one?
Do you think the concept of Jinnah, Mr. Jinnah?
I'll come with Jinnah. Don't worry. I'll come to Jinnah. Don't worry. What I'm saying is first understand the mindset. And I'll tell you how to use that, because you're not in Pakistan or India or Palestine. You're in England. Your kids, I need to understand, you need to understand, this could be harnessed. I can harness your children. You can. Okay, what's his name, sir? I need, go to the last slide. I'll tell you. Birmingham, please, get me the controller, okay? Birmingham, I need a controller. Go on, sir. Go. Keep rolling. That's it. Awesome. That's it. This is it. This is why I came here. Okay, just read this slide while I talk, okay? Whoever asked me, how did Islam, current version of Islam, happen to be so secular? Well, it is secular. It happened about 1,200 years ago, okay? Before that, all the Muslims that you know of were in or around the office, calling the shots on policy. Okay? If Islam was not about power and policy making, then you have to delete Abu Bakr Siddiq, Umar Khattab, Uthman bin Affan, Ali bin Abi Talib, Hussein bin Ali. This is the first 30 years. You cannot divorce them out of Islam. That is all Islam. From Abu Bakr Siddiq to Ali bin Abi Talib. Add the 6 months of Hussein bin Ali, because that's the time that Prophet ﷺ said the hadith. Now, at the time when Yazid bin Muawiyah took over, all of Islamic definitions changed. Before that and after that, there are two different versions of Islam. And I always take Umar bin Khattab as the central custodian of how to run a machine, because he ran it so well that most of the world right now know Islam, which is the Khattabi Islam. The way he put the policy in, the way he managed the policy, and all of that. Okay. So when you have to ask this question, you have to go back. So right now, you can ask any mufti right now of this little proposition that I'm giving, that should we take the power? I'm not talking about Muslim lands, I'm talking about globally. They're going to say, like, you can't even take it from Muslim lands, buddy. That's called khuruj. And I'm like, I'm not. So Whoever is the king is will remain the king, and his son is going to be the king. And then Nawaz Sharif is going to give birth to Maryam Nawaz Sharif, and she's going to give birth to whatever Nawaz Sharif, and then another Nawaz Sharif. And we cannot do anything about it. Yeah, it's going to be, you're a kharji then. You understand me? That's how bad the situation is right now. I can't go against the Pakistan army. You know why? The Muslim clerics are going to be like, you kharji, you jannum ke kutte. Literally, I keep getting that little word because I am getting the Muslim Pakistani to say, oh, listen to me. Use the politics, man. Come into power, come into competence first. They're going to actually know your credibility through this. And I am known as the biggest kharji in Pakistan because I am getting the youth to come into power through Islam. And you know who's against me? Not the army. They called me in twice. Sat me down, gave me like, not even once they used the word kharji. You know what they said? यार इतने अच्छा बोलते हो, इतना तुम्हारा अफेक्ट है और असली काम का बंदा तुम्हें सुन रहा है और तुम इस वक्त क्या कर रहे हो, किधर लेके जा रहे हो उनको? That's the crux of the lecture. और जब उलमा मुझे बुलाते हैं, you know what they say? तुम्हें पता है इस्लाम में इस चीज की इजाजत नहीं जो तुम कर रहे हो. इस्लाम में इसको खरूज कहते. हमें हुक्म है कि हम इसकी तबाह करें. किसकी? चीफ की. लिटरली चीफ ऑफ आर्मी स्टाफ की. एंड सर आपको अल्लाह ने हुक्म दिया है कि हाफिज साहब की तबाह करो. You think I want to believe that? This is ulul amr for you. Yeah, this is ulul amr. और ulul amr की तबाह करनी इस्लाम में मस्ट है. This is what's going on. That's why the masjid is quiet in Pakistan. Now you know. That's what I'm saying, the current definition of Islam. More than 20,000 masjids in the most populated area of the planet. That's the mobility I could have used. Not even a single element of violence in there. I'm talking about politics, the power of motion. No, they're not going to let me do that. Who's not? The Maulvi is not going to let me do that. Ulama, Deobandis call me Kharji. Ahl Hadith have called me Kharji. And imagine the Barelvis have called me Kharji. So I only ask one question, buddy. If this is Khuruj, then Hussein bin Ali is also a Kharji. No, they don't have the answer to this question. Now, he didn't fight. No, listen, he was already in power. He was already in power. Listen, I'm talking about Khuruj. You know what Khuruj is? Khuruj is when a guy who's not in power goes against a man of the state which is in power. But he was the first, he was Khalifa before Muawiyah radiallahu anhu. No, I don't understand your accent, but listen. Hassan bin Ali is Khalifa before Muawiyah radiallahu anhu. Hussein never made it to Khalifa. Yeah. So a Khalifa cannot do Khuruj. He's already a Khalifa. Somebody going against Hassan would be Kharji, not. Yeah. So Hussein actually went against the power. Say what now? Right. No, Hussein al-Islam is in the. I didn't get that word. I'm sorry. I'm not trying to, I want to understand you. Hussein al-Islam going against Yazid is khuruj based on the current definition. You know that, right? That's the case. That's the case. Hussein al-Islam never went against Muawiyah radiallahu anhu.
Because the Khilafah wasn't established at that time.
What? No, he was. He ruled for 10 years.
But the bay'ah wasn't complete, was it?
It was complete, don't worry. Even if bay'ah is not complete, doesn't matter. Hussein al-Islam going against Yazid is technical khuruj in Islam, in the current definition of Islam. Okay? So either Hussein is right or the current definition of Islam is right. And I believe Hussein is right. Okay? I believe that. Because he didn't pick up the sword, he picked up what? What did he do? What was Hussein al-Islam doing?
Hussein radiallahu
before, because it's to do with Islam, so the bay'ah was taking place, right? So Hussein radiallahu anhu didn't want to give bay'ah to Yazid because of his actions and the leadership role that he was taking.
So everybody else did.
So he disagreed with the bay'ah.
Yeah, but he disagreed with the Khalifa.
What's that, right?
Yazid is the Khalifa. He remained the Khalifa.
So he forced himself to be Khalifa all the
Well, he did. He managed to fool every other Sahabi. Not me. Abdullah bin Abbas called him Khalifa. All the Sahabas agreed, man. He ruled for many years. All the Sahabas gave bay'ah to Yazid.
It doesn't have to stand with Yazid, or it doesn't have to stand with all the Sahabas. Islam.
I do not know your heart of your question, but we all know Yazid ruled the Islamic world, right?
Ruling is different. Anyone could rule. Jinnah ruled Pakistan like they used to say.
But Abdullah bin Abbas and Abdullah bin Umar didn't give bay'ah to Jinnah, na? They gave bay'ah to Yazid.
Well, people give bay'ah to Nawaz Sharif and Imran Khan.
But people are not Abdullah bin Umar or Abdullah bin Abbas, eh? That's the difference.
What's that?
You're talking about big Sahabas here, okay?
You want to ask? You want to take over? I'm the right to go.
Listen, you're mixing regular Joes with Sahabas who gave bay'ah. And Yazid is a real Khalifa. Whether we want it, like it or not, he is the Khalifa.
No, he's not. How can he be Khalifa?
Okay, who was the Khalifa in the time of Yazid? Who was the Khalifa?
Hussein didn't accept him.
Okay, I'm going to ask you a simple question, sir.
I start with Hussein.
I get it. I'm going to ask you simple. At the time of Yazid, who do you think is not the Khalifa? Who is the Khalifa?
Hussein radiallahu anhu.
But he died. Who is the Khalifa now?
He didn't die. She doesn't die. Really, to that. So,
Are you for real, man?
The leadership role was given to Yazid.
Everybody gets what my point is? Yeah. Okay. So everybody got it. So the question is simple. Now, I'm not talking about here about Hussein. I'm talking about your kids. You know what? He established a certain center. Nabi alayhi salam, our Prophet sallallahu alayhi wasallam, when he was in Makkah, he did the exact same thing. And we got to do the same thing. What did Prophet sallallahu alayhi wasallam do when he was in the plight that Muslims are in right now? In Makkah, what did he do? He did what? Hijrah. No, before Hijrah, he did something. Hijrah happened because he took a very clear step. Come on, Muslims. That's what I'm trying to get you at. If you can get that, you will know why I need your daughters and your sons. You will know why you need Canadian daughters and sons. You will know exactly the value of American kids in their early teens right now. No, he couldn't. No, there was nobody in Medina at that time. I mean, Muslims. Something else happened here. Come on. Who is the top Sahabi? Who are the group of Sahabas which is the top ranked? The people who did something. What are those people? No, come on. People who fought Badr are the top of the Sahabis, right? But people who did something else are way better than Badr. Who are those? Okay, you don't know. It's all right, I'll tell you. We're running out of time. People of Uqba are the number one Sahabas. The Badris don't even come close. That is how high ranked a Muslim is. I'll tell you the ranking in Islam, okay? Very clear ranking, okay? It's precedented. It's by the Prophet ﷺ. One time, a Sahabi was committing treason in Islam. He was telling or leaking information of the Prophet ﷺ to the kuffar. Literally, he was caught. I'm not going to go into that detail. Read about him. Hatib, that's his name, okay? And Ali bin Abi Talib was sent, go get that information and that, whatever. And he was caught red-handed. And he had an excuse. He said, listen, you guys are very influential. And Allah knows that my family is not. They're going to butcher my family. So I had to do something to save my family. It is not about, because Allah is going to give you victory. I believe so much that I know Allah is going to give you victory. But I need you to save my family. And the Prophet ﷺ did not accept his justification. He said, no, you have to sacrifice your family for Allah and His Prophet. But, Umar Khattab said, oh Prophet, give me just a cue. Give me a hint, and I'm going to slit his throat. because this is treason against Allah and the Prophet. The Prophet said, let him go, for he is a Badri. Let him go. He participated in Badr. And all the Badris, God knows what kind of sin has been forgiven. So I'm not going to be able to do the math. That's how high Badr is. The biggest possible crime. And this man was let go because he performed in Badr. And the Badri Sahabis, Badr is, by the way, a fight. Okay? Aiza, it's a battle, the first battle. Have you heard the word Badr? Really? Okay. That's like the top of the top. And Badri Sahabis are not even compared by the Sahabas, by the Uqabi Sahabis. You know what Uqba? Uqba is a place. Okay, it's close to Makkah. Okay. Uqba happened when 11 people came by a certain technique that Hamza, radiallahu anhu, the uncle of the Prophet, he connected a few people, connected. There were some missions going on between two different Sahabas and those tribal leaders of Aus and Khazraj. And they convinced, they presented, they were so eloquent that those 11 people accepted Islam. And they said, you know what? You can't just accept Islam, man. This is not a Sufi yogi version of Islam. We got to do a lot of things. You got to pay up, man. You got to pay up. And those 11 people in Medina said, what do you want from us? He said, we want your power. We want your authority. We want your influence. Because you are the most powerful in Medina. But you cannot even tell anyone that you converted to Islam. This is what happened in Uqba. So all of these 11 people were brought in to Prophet ﷺ, and Prophet ﷺ said, do you give your bayah and allegiance to me? And then you will have to give everything that you have to me, literally. And they said, we do. We're going to give everything to you. All of Medina is your property now. Literally, it's like, take it. They were the owners of Medina, literally. They were the leaders of Aus and Khazraj, and Medina was ruled by them. Keep looking at this slide when I keep narrating to you how your kids are supposed to perform. This is the Sunnah and the Seerah. This is the vertex at which Islam and the current version of Islam and the real duty of Islam is coming to present to your kids. You need to understand how Muslims got Medina. Muslim did not send missionary missions of Dawat or Tabligh and top-down approach. Everyone's going to convert. And then, Medina's going to... They do not have enough time. Nor was this the preferred technique. So Uqba happened, and Uqbi Sahabis came in, and they said, we're going to take you as we take our daughter. Because they protect their daughters more than they protect their sons. That's the exact word they used. Well, he didn't use it. Hamza, radiallahu anhu, said, are you going to protect my son, which is, of course, his nephew, like you protect your women? Because they would die for their women. They would give everything because that's their daughters and wives. They said, yes. Now look at the rank. People who give their lives in Badr, lower. People who gave power and establishment to Islam, higher. People who were politicians, higher. Okay? People who were resourceful, higher. Right time, right people, right place. Now, sir, can you go to the last slides? Okay? This is what I want. I'm going to come back to this slide, okay? Can you go far forward? Forward. Forward. No, slower. Here, this is how it happened. Think of Uqba. Think of Uqba. Okay? Bayt Uqba. Okay? Think of whatever happened to Medina after the Prophet ﷺ came in. How they, from Medina, took back Makkah. And then from Makkah and Medina, they took over the world. And how Umar ibn Khattab ruled the 85% inhabitant planet. Think about that, and now look at this. So take it one by one. I'm going to keep telling you next. Okay? I'm going to keep telling you. Thank you. Just one. Yes, here you go. This is real numbers. This is real numbers right now, while your kids were born. While Aiza is looking at me. She's 13. She's in England. She was from Pakistan. Think Bayt Uqba. Think mindset. Think the demand I'm presenting to you right now. This is real numbers. Look at the population. Look at the clusters. Look at England. You see 292,000 English. Next. And by the way, this is a testament to a success story. This is how success is done. This is how work is done. By the way, this is a sunnah. This is the population. Only Australia, only America. Rest I don't even want to name, don't even want to count. Micronesia, and this is, by the way, the most wretched bichari country. These countries don't even want to name. That's Japan, by the way. That's Australia, okay, and that's Laos. Now, these blue things are the only political hubs of Israel. Other than that, everybody hates them, wants them dead. This is, imagine what if Pakistan was going through this. This is it. The gray is neutral, green, finish them right now. Blue, we want to work for them. This, think Bate Uqba. Think the 4 pillars I'm telling you. Think of your children. One more slicer. Actually, you know what? Go forward. I want to show you one more. Next. Yes, one more. I'm just going to the end for a reason. One more. Here you go. This slide. This is the political situation. More like Pakistan situation. But no, this is what they're playing at. This is what the cards were dealt to a regular Jewish man and a woman. These blue lines are pro and yellow lines are totally against. Pick a country, you'll find out what their political worth currently would have been. Look at this. Everyone against. Real surveys, real polls. This is Pakistan, by the way. This is the PTI people. Yeah, well, pro-Israel sentiment went up in the PTI time, right? Doesn't matter. What matters is look at the yellow lines. You pick a country, think. Now come back, sir. This is what their situation is. This is how they started. That's how Uqba is done. That's how Kufa is done. That's how power is done. This is one slide of, how many? 329. 329 slides worth of just names. Of what? Little clusters. This is little clusters of how? People coming together. Sharing resources. This slide. Sharing resources. Building together. One by one. Same people couldn't even cross your streets of Bradford when you would not migrate here. They couldn't cross the street, this street. Some Christians was going to butcher them. They couldn't cross these very streets. They built it up with competence, real work.
Good evening.
Yes, sir.
This is our venue.
Yes, sir.
This is a church.
Huh?
We're Christians. We all respect each other.
Yes, sir.
It's very hard for us to hear you saying things.
Saying what?
That are uncharitable. So I hope to finish soon.
You're not listening to what I'm saying, otherwise you wouldn't have said that. No, I think you should. You think you should listen? Because you're listening to half of what I'm saying. This is very uncharitable of you to just... Are you my slide shifter? You're not listening to what I'm saying here?
Your slide shifter is not the one that came up and spoke to you. That's the
event
manager.
I'm sorry. Yeah. I'm trying to pay a testament. You understand? This is exactly why, differences actually appear and they go through the fractures of two different people. If you could have taken negative things out of this slide or this session, then I swear to you, I have no hope from England. Sir, are you listening to what I'm saying right now? You cause so much negativity in all of these people by just, taking your own impression of stuff that you didn't even get to listen to. You should have been clapping for these slides. वो तो ठीक है सर, टाइम तो मैं खत्म करता हूँ अच्छी तरह. You see what I'm saying? This is the problem. This is why, sentiments fly around with half-cooked emotions based on just ignorance, nothing else. This is how competence is done. This is how structures are made. By the way, read your history. You need to understand how these people fought against this anti-Semite nation. And they worked together, came into competent structures. This slide is just one of how many? 329. That's what I want you guys to do. Work, connect, and become competent. If you're not performing on the real standards of knowledge, sorry. You are your own enemies. One more slide, sir. How much time? 5 minutes over? No, go back, please. Go back. Here you go. This is the Fields Medal. What do you think? Is nepotism going on? You think somebody comes together and says, you know what, we got to award the certain people? No. They're actually working towards mathematics. You know what Fields Medal is? What is a Fields Medal? Fields Medal is the Nobel Prize for mathematics. You know how many Muslims have gotten a Fields Medal? 0. You know why? We do not know mathematics. We don't gain the knowledge. One slide back, sir. One slide back. One more. Look at this. Out of the Nobel Prize, 22% go to a 5 million population. You know why? They had a single purpose, competence ka pillar. They needed to become competent. This is not a game, this is real life, real standards of knowledge. मैंने आपसे कहा ना परफॉर्मेंस है. परफॉर्मेंस क्यों है? पर्पस था. पर्पस क्या? सब ने इकट्ठा होना वरना मारे जाएंगे. वरना गए. We are done if we play solo. We become individually focused. We're done. You think this is a fluke? 22% of Nobel Prize go to by fluke एक खास किस्म की नस्ल को देने ही देने हमने. Big problem. Or Muslim. One more slide, please, sir. You know what this is? This is not financial capital. This is political capital. This is it. सही जगह पे सही बंदा सही पर्पस के साथ एक पर्पस के साथ सब बंदे इकट्ठे हो रहे. Everyone had the same purpose. And we gotta unite. We gotta do something. We're gonna have to construct a model. They did. They said all of the world combined versus one country. By the way, this is old stats after October. That's what I said. Right people coming in. Sir, one last thing. Did you go to that slide where the solution was there? This is how real change is done. This is how people come together. Single purpose, everyone for everybody. Here, you know what we're doing? We are looking at the same dollars and pounds, but किसी और को ना मिल जाए, मुझे मिल जाए. बस that's it. या जिस तरीके से उसको मिला है, मैंने भी खुद अपने लिए लेना है. This is what I want you to do. Critical thinking, से IQ बढ़वाएं, जो कि पाकिस्तानियों में एक काम है जो कभी भी नहीं करेंगे, क्रिटिकल थिंकिंग नहीं सिखाएंगे। क्या मतलब होता है इस बात का? Why are you even asking me questions? बदतमीज आदमी, why did you ask me anything about why? Like, क्यों के सवाल क्यों कर रहा है? We're not going to think critically, we're not going to gain IQ. If he's not going to think critically, he's going to be a copy. He's going to be a photocopy, a Xerox copy of whatever I've been doing, and हमने अपनी छोटे-छोटे वर्जन नीचे पैदा कर लिए हैं. Someone's got to challenge the status quo. Someone's got to be Hussein. पॉलिटिकल कैपिटल के ऊपर मैं ज्यादा टनी फोर्स कर रहा क्योंकि वो समझा दी है. मेंटल कैपिटल में मैं फोर्स इसलिए कर रहा हूं. England has done most of the work for you guys. They've given you the IQ, the platform, opened up the universities, opened up everything so that you can get that establishment of knowledge sets. Once you have that, you compare a English Pakistani right now versus a Pakistani right now. You'll find out the difference. Okay? 4 pillars, simple strategy, everybody coming together. From Melbourne to Milwaukee to Houston to Manchester. That's it. Any questions? For now. We have a hall time? Yeah. Okay. We are all in the same group. Please make sure I'll be a part of that group. We'll take questions from there on. Okay? Hall khali karna zaruri ho gaya, sir. Okay, guys, thank you so much for your patience. Thank you. No, God, no.